right? Just like Bucky Irving, your counterpart is no longer there. So in a high-scoring game, right, the issue with Chase Brown, for those that are unfamiliar, is that they weren't using him in pass protection. So it was putting really a ceiling and a cap on how many times he could be out on the field. And now with the injury to Zach Moss, that should open things up. But so for me, give me in this order: Bucky, Chase, Tracy. Only because if it turns out that Chase Brown is fully healthy,
start Chase if he's fully healthy.
I like his matchup way more. We talked about points, right? This is about points at the end of the day. High scoring offenses, high scoring game means Burrow's lighting it up. Both teams, we love a shootout. Fantasy players love a shootout. James Madison loves a shootout. So give me those in that order. And then, of course, we have Ray. He's saying, thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. You as well, Ray. Carrie Underwood, from Mrs. A. Wow. All right, we got
waiting all day on a Sunday night.
In the flex.
Ooh. Who does Pittsburgh play again?
So let's
the
take
Raiders.
Here.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, give me Gibson. I ain't trusting Najee to break out like that against the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah,
So
especially in Las Vegas.
Yeah, give me Gibson over Najee.
But here's the thing, guys. So if I'm just going to give some added perspective, they did give him what I'm going to call a veteran rest day. He was a non-participant, for the first practice of the week. I'm going to call it a veteran rest day. It's something,
call it that.
But what you have to remember, Jaylen Warren, who was splitting the snap share, was out. He was out. So what does that lead to for Najee Harris? Well, as it pertains to listen to these last 2 weeks, right? He goes from about 50% to then 69% to then 74% of the snap percentages. All of which means he ends up getting all of the red zone targets there as well from his position. So increased workload across the board. But outside of that, any other thoughts from you two as to who you would go with in this case?
I told you I'm taking Gibson. I don't see Najee getting off with this tough Raiders line they got, man. Especially if Crosby get to the backfield enough. Like I don't see Najee being able to. I don't see him having a bad game, but I see Gibson having a better game.
This is the type of thing where it may end up coming down to Najee.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Najee. The Raiders do have their struggles, and let's say the Steelers find themselves running the ball effective early. You're trying to get points, like you say. You can get those points early before they settle in. And by the end, he's already earned his points. So I'm going to go with Najee.
So, look, there's an interesting case to be made here. The problem that I have with the matchup is actually has a lot to do with Jeb's format. The fact that it's a standard league. In a PPR format, this is the problem with Gibson is that he hasn't scored. So even though Ramondre Stevenson is out in this case, so again, nobody to share the backfield with, at least for this week, because what started as him being the starter led to Ramondre having an enormous day, basically playing every play after, it felt like, just to rub it in. So again, it's the format for me. He's only averaging about 69 yards. So again, I talked to you both about being touchdown dependent. This is a guy that isn't able to score, and we can't capitalize on what made Antonio Gibson great on Washington, which was his ability to also be a pass catcher, at least as it pertains to points. So the Raiders aren't exactly a terrible defense. That is, but at the same time, again, give me Najee Harris because it's the standard league.
One of those terms are
Well stated.
roll, Najee, roll.
So you got so Sports Spotlight saying, I'm not sure if Pittman will play. He was doubtful earlier in the week. I thought he went on IR. Dude, let's see.
I thought he was questionable, honestly. I didn't know he was doubtful.
Let's see here, just to confirm with the latest. He's going to play through the injury as of 2 hours ago.
Oh, LSU just scored.
Did they just tie it?
Oh, no, almost.
We're in the final. We're in the final minute there.
They said he stepped out of bounds. He's so close. Oh, my God.
My gosh.
They reviewing it now. We'll see.
So here's an interesting thing with Michael Pittman. It depended on who the quarterback was, right? So now you got guys like Josh Downs with the toe injury, Anthony Richardson, of course, with the oblique. It'll be interesting to see. He's going to play through it. I
don't see him producing that much.
There's the key word that we're looking for is production. So here's what I want to point out. Go look at the games of who was the quarterback when he was actually lighting it up. Okay, who was the quarterback week 2? So let's do this for him right now because that's what we do best. So I'm going to go week 2, Indianapolis Colts. All right. There we go. And what do we get? It's Anthony Richardson.
Who's injury prone? Like Richardson is a beast when he's healthy.
So listen to this, guys.
Healthy.
Listen to this. In a PPR format, Michael Pittman, week 2, scored 6 points. And now we're going to look at week 3 because he only scored, sadly, 8 points. And the quarterback, once again, Anthony Richardson. Now, week 4, he lights up 23 points. Again, snap percentage, not an issue here. In the mid to upper 80s. That's not his problem. It's who's his quarterback. So let's look. Who was the quarterback? You're right.
That's the game that Pierce also went off.
That's right. And then he followed that performance up following the Pittsburgh week against Jacksonville with another 15, almost 16 points. So again, week 5, who was the quarterback? Well,
Flacco still.
Yep.
Huh.
So to answer the question, Sports Spotlight, just to answer that question, I would play him if Joe Flacco is the starting quarterback. I would not play him. And again, cautiously, right? We weren't able to know who the other alternatives were to choose from. But just off of that premise alone, right? I mean, guys, look, Doc, you're in 3 leagues. You know this better than anybody. If I told you a guy with quarterback A is going to average 7, or with quarterback B, he's going to average 17, which are you going to choose?
If you got quarterback B, that's what I'm going with. I want that 17 points.
Right.
Absolutely. Gully, do you see it any differently?
No. Nope. Ain't nothing to add. It's very simple. 1 + 1 = 2.
Pearson, Pittman are Flacco's go-tos. So if you have one of the two, I would start them. Flacco's the quarterback. Richardson's still out. I'm starting Pittman and Pierce if I have them both. Or if I have one, I'm starting one. If I got the other, I'm starting the other.
How
Either
about
way it
the
goes.
fact that Joe Flacco is having the late-stage career that we thought Aaron Rodgers would have?
Aaron Rodgers is a diva. Okay. He's not gonna have a good season because he can't get what he want over there in New York. And now they added another diva in Devontae Adams to the roster. I don't see that team faring out too well. No. Aaron Rodgers need to hang it up. He rushed to come back from an ACL. I mean, not ACL, but from that Achilles injury. Only to, play for a wild card spot? Because at this point, that's all they're looking like they're going to get.
Now, wait a minute, Doc. Is this more Green Bay hate?
No, it's not. I just don't see the Jets being that good of a team. I'm sorry that everybody else expecting them to be this Super Bowl contender because they got Aaron Rodgers and a couple divas on offense, but that offense ain't putting up no points, man. They lean heavily on that defense that they have. And once that defense starts to crumble, guess what happens to the offense? The offense crumbles.
What do you guys make of the situation with the firing?
I think it's because he wore that Lebanese flag. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Well, wait a minute.
Oh, they scored a touchdown, LSU.
How much time's left?
Like 20 seconds. I see overtime happening. Yeah, we got as long as they make this field goal, we got us some overtime. 27 seconds left, 22-23.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We also have, just again, for those that are watching on ESPN, we also have a Big 12 matchup with a ranked Kansas State team who just took the lead over Colorado in Coach Prime with 1:52 remaining.
It's good. 23-23.
And you said under a minute left in that
27 seconds left. Ole Miss got 2 timeouts left. All you need to do is make it the field goal range, so we'll see.
Do you think what percentage do you think Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss?
I don't see why not. It ain't like they're a horrible team and he needs to leave. I think he stays, especially if they do good this year like they've been doing. They're 5-1 right now.
But so this is what we're just in an interesting era of college football because, like, Doc, to your point, I don't disagree with you, right? You're in the SEC. What more do you really, what other ingredients do you need?
You rank number 9 in a 12-team playoff. So long as you continue this level of success that you're having, you're going to the playoffs. Like, right. I don't see him leaving. Only a fool would leave.
What if the Michigan job opens up?
That or a better job opens up, but I honestly don't see him leaving, especially if they do really good, make a great play, like a good playoff push. I don't see him going anywhere.
I'm going to bring some tennis news into this. Wimbledon has officially removed the line judges after 147 years and has gone fully electronic or autonomous. Do you believe this is a domino that will have a ripple effect into things like baseball?
Yeah, it will. Absolutely, it will. The question is,
I don't see them getting
once.
rid of line judges in baseball, bro.
Oh no, they're gonna try it.
They're gonna try it, but I don't see it happening no time soon.
Gully, what do you think?
Yeah, they're gonna try it for sure. I mean, why not? Right?
I
They
guess
get
you got cameras all over the field, so
yeah,
what do we need the line judges for? I get it.
right. But then once I think its effect on sports betting and gambling, they'll figure it out. They'll figure out a nice
Yeah,
hybrid.
they got to do something.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think again, we've survived the era of folks like Angel Hernandez. We've had blunders like Armando Galarraga's, non perfect game, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't think the tech was quite ready yet for it.
Okay.
Or at least the case could be made. It would be interesting to see what variants. I point to European soccer because anytime there's a slight variance, I've seen people being ruled offsides because of, their elbow or a finger, and it's so obscure and bizarre that it's very off-putting and kind of it gives me a little bit of cause for concern. But with tennis, again, those parameters are far more. There's those little variants there. And so I completely agree. It'll just be interesting to see if it recognizes that the landing spot was in one place and say the chalk line was somewhere else. So again, just the accuracy of that. And if that occurred, would they maybe have an additional parameter to have a second set of eyes on there? We do have another question in here. This is from Hanson. Mike Evans and Tyreek Hill or Chase and Smith? Full PPR. Nervous about Tyreek because of Tua. He's not sure. So, guys, just to kind of walk you through, okay, I have Waddle, and I have not played Waddle since Tua has been down. So, with Tyreek Hill's numbers in a PPR format, the last 3 weeks, 9, 10, and finally 15.
But that's horrible numbers compared to the numbers he normally puts up.
Yeah, I mean, again, Tua's been out since week 2. It's really hard to believe that it didn't feel like it was week 2. I don't know why, but just for context, and even though Jacksonville isn't really the best litmus test, he certainly did what you would hope he would do against a porous defense and lit them up for 32. So
can you put his comment back up again so I can see who he said she started? Does he have the option to put in to do like a Mike Evans and a Jamar Chase, and just forget about Smith and Tyreek Hill? Because I don't see Tyreek Hill putting up numbers like that. Mike Evans going Mike Evans, and Jamar Chase is going Jamar Chase. Like, you can't stop that man.
Right, we talked about that Cincinnati game.
I will go with those two if I could.
And coincidentally, when we were talking about Baker Mayfield in Tampa earlier, Mike Evans is certainly that anytime touchdown scorer, or certainly his receiving prop.
I'm taking that.
Yeah, Mike Evans, again, just to for added clarity, again, the last 2 weeks versus Philly, he had 28 PPR points. Versus Atlanta, he had 26. And this is, mind you, this is only with 7, coming off of 7 targets versus the Falcons. And he still was able to do that because of the touchdowns. So again, he's had a total of 5 for the season. The only 2 games he didn't score were against the Lions and the Broncos. But to me, he's low end wide receiver 1 value for the week. And again, he's normally a strong play here, but he's going to have Lattimore on him. And I talk about shadow coverage. You know, Rockwell, you know, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Right.
And so, again, do I think that's going to completely like stop him? No. But will it limit him? Absolutely. 100%. On top of potentially a terrible New Orleans offense, right? We're going to get one of two things from Rattler. I'm hoping it's the South Carolina dude that was taking off and you know, not the one that couldn't, you know, would move the ball on like the opening drive and then you wouldn't see anything until like the fourth quarter. So if you have a game script like that, you may not have the targets, the necessary targets for him. And that's why guys like, again, can Bucky Irving do something with the opportunity? Those are all where there's some cautious, but you know, naturally some optimism there too. Do you guys see it either similar or any different?
No.
Yeah, at all.
No, I think you was right. I think you was right on with that.
With is Smith, that's got to be Devontae Smith.
That's what I'm
yeah.
Well, again,
I'm still going Mike Evans and Jamar Chase. Not saying Smith's going to have a bad game, but I'm saying Chase and Evans are going to have the better game. So I would put those two in if that was an option.
Yeah, look, I'm not mad at it, right? With Devontae Smith is always my problem is he doesn't get the touchdown opportunities.
Right. No, you got an AJ Brown. Like, come on now.
Right. So in fantasy, how does that read? If you're an Eagles fan, yeah, right. But if you want to pick them, yeah. But if you in fantasy, like, hey, I need 49 yards and a touchdown versus 93 yards and 8 touches, and
Devontae gonna get you points. He's just not gonna get you those points from that touchdown because you got AJ Brown, the touchdown machine over there. So
got you.
He'll get you the yards, but he won't get you the touchdowns.
Yeah,
Hansen. In a league that depends heavily on touchdowns, then I wouldn't even think about putting him in. It would be Chase and Evans because they're going to get you the touchdowns and they're going to get you the yards.
All right, so Hansen, hopefully you can do the Evans Chase. I too am very nervous about Tyreek because of Tua and the limited opportunities overall.
And they're hurting that quarterback over there.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then this is from another YouTube comment. This is start one, drop one. Ooh.
Start Bigsby, drop Tracy.
Dude, drop. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that honestly, I think the one to drop is Ford. If you know,
Chubb is back
in a week for sure, confirmed.
After this week, drop Ford. I forgot. Yep, Chase is coming. Not Chase, but Chubb is coming back.
I can't drop Tracy because of what we've seen him do. Gervonta has been okay, but certainly not anything worthy of being off the roster altogether.
Okay,
Tracy has a high ceiling. Bigsby, similarly, he was eating into the carries. ETN is only coming back.
He's right. The muscle.
Absolutely. ETN's only coming back because he might be the drop if he didn't. So I completely love the idea, unfortunately, of losing Jerome Ford. Who would you guys start out of those three? Like I said, there's the possibility that the Giants' normal running back is returning. Gervonta, let's see how he's been doing of late. I'll pull that up.
I'm starting Bigsby. I like him. I like him in the backfield. ETN coming back or not, he's still gonna get those touches because they're gonna need all those short yardage gains, and they gonna need those red zone touchdowns. You got ETN for the middle of the field. You got Bigsby for short yardage and touchdowns. I'm taking him. I'm starting Bigsby over all of those.
No argument here.
Yeah.
What say you, Double J? No argument here.
I would love Tyrone Tracy in an uncrowded backfield.
But that ain't the case.
I would start him. Honestly, the Bigsby matchup is there, but I really wanted to just see what would happen in a week where there is no Travis. Just give me like a full game. Let me see what he does. Does he Bucky Irving it, or does he like absolutely light it up the way that we think? And then here we go. We have the next one from Adam, which is drop Spears for Tracy. My running backs are Etienne, Bigsby, Dowdle, Hunt, and Dobbins.
Hey, I got Dobbins. Dobbins is
okay. So again, for those that are unfamiliar, the 0 RB strategy, right? You go heavy at your wide receiver positions, quarterback, etc., and then you try to kind of overcompensate later.
You wait for owners.
You wait for running backs to start getting hurt. That's what you do. You wait on running backs to start dropping like flies, and you hit that waiver wire. That's what I do.
Right.
You get you one solid back, then after that, you don't worry about it to the end.
Well, and Doc's look, you're the guru of the wire here. I mean,
yeah, bro.
You need an HBO show, The Wire. You know, it was you on the cover. As far as Spears, though, double digits last week, if I remember correctly. And then Uncle Rico, man, is killing me. Kareem Hunt, though, again, he
went off last week.
Yeah, absolutely he did. And Dobbins, we talked about anytime touchdown scorers, J.K. Dobbins. If I were to parlay that, and I don't parlay often, right? I'd probably round robin it and
parlays
do
are
one
too
small
risky.
one. Anytime touchdown scores, we said Marvin Harrison Jr., J.K. Dobbins. Maybe, I don't know about Strange, dude. That might be, I'd want a little bit more of a, I can only imagine what those odds are. I would have to probably put that together here on the fly and see what that's going with. But for me, would I drop Spears for Tyrone Tracy?
No.
Okay. So here's full transparency. The problem with Spears is that they've committed, like this week as an example, is a fantastic matchup for his counterpart. And at what point, like you're at this point, we are simply handcuffing him in hopes that there's an injury, because what we expected was that shift to occur. And it just hasn't happened for Tajay quite yet. So listen to the snap percentage, everybody. 45, 33, 37, and 42. So are we trending back upwards? Lightly. But then he gets a couple targets, right? So in a PPR format, he can get you still somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 or maybe as high as almost 14 points.
But is that really worth it, though?
That's my problem. Tyrone Tracy's already scored 20 in a week.
Yeah, that's what I said. Is it really worth it?
So that's my only issue. Again, 2.6 yards per carry. Oy. It will, I would have to pick up some Lucia. But again, at best, he's an RB4 against the Colts. At best. So that's a little bit of an issue for me. All right. There you go, Gully.
Yo, yeah. What's up? What's going on out there in Twitch land?
Absolutely. Yeah, failed to mention that, of course, as well. Matter of fact, I should.
We were I got on there a little while ago. Working through some technical difficulties. We got everything rearranged. So if you catch us on Twitch,
Yo, Puka out on IR. I got Puka too. He's in that. I got him on IR. I don't know when he comes back, but I can't wait.
Man, am I cooked 1-4 with
Evans, Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed, Trevor Hubbard, Zay Flowers. Ah man, Puka, that's a loss there. When Puka went down, I was so hurt because I started him that week too.
Well, I talked about somebody that's benefiting from guys like Romeo Dobbs throwing a fit. That's Jaden Reed. Keep an eye on if Christian Watson plays, right? I thought wasn't he supposed to go to IR? But I thought he was questionable. So again, Jaden Reed went off against Minnesota. He followed it up with another 17. So we talk about snap percentages as well. So Philly, where he had, again, 38 PPR points, 72% of the snaps in that game. Now, when he has 8 points, 56, Tennessee, 14 points, 57. Then you get to Minnesota, like I said, 78% because of the injury being there. And then, of course, 76%. But the targets, he's averaging at least 6 targets. That's a decent volume there. Arizona, he's going to have a pretty solid opportunity, but I don't believe he's cooked by any means. I actually, Chumbawamba, as I've coined him, has been phenomenal. He's done better than certainly based on what ADP, which would have been like undrafted.
You got to get a replacement for Puka, though.
Now, something worth remembering, though, with Chuba Hubbard, though, is the gentleman that was supposed to start before him, who was on IR, is now, of course, starting to slowly get back in the mix. So keep an eye on that. Puka, of course, should be coming back. And
when, though? Because right now he's still on IR.
Yeah, that's this. Oh, wait a minute. He's got more. Okay. And Chubb on IR. But Chubb's back in a week, right?
Yeah.
So Josh Jacobs is going to have a phenomenal game. We just talked about Mike Evans, too.
Yeah.
Doc, what do you got out of this? You think he's done?
No, he only cooked for right now. But once Puka comes back, Chubb comes back, you got a solid team, man. You put one of those running backs in your flex. You got your receiver and Puka Nacua back. You got Chubb. I don't think he's cooked. He's just cooked right now because of injuries. That was me not too long ago. You got to hit that waiver wire, bro. That was me. I was cooked. Hit that waiver wire. Now, I'm not as cooked. I'm not well done. I'm more like medium rare.
Yeah, I agree. Agent 74, you are not cooked. You are raw.
Cooked.
So unless you are sushi, you're sashimi at the very least.
Yeah. Once those injuries are over with, you'll be all right. He 1-4 right now, but it's going to turn around. Hit that waiver wire, though. People sleep on a lot of players. Like, believe me, I stay in the waiver wire. People sleep on players all the time. That's how I got Alec Pierce. That's how I got Mason. That's how I got McBride. Like, I should go through my lineup.
Yes, just to at the very least, just show us your clearly vast superiority over all of us because of how phenomenal you've been able to like. Honestly, Doc, at this point, unless there were a catastrophic injury to someone else that freed up the availability based on the individuals you've been able to get, if you do not win the championship, it had to have been human error.
Yeah. So my one team, I have Caleb Williams, Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, Deebo Samuels, Jameson Williams, Dallas Goedert, David Montgomery, Phillies defense, and Jason Tucker. As my kicker on my bench, I got Patrick Mahomes. I got Detroit's defense. I got Jacoby Myers, who was doubtful. I got Charbonnet, Christian Kirk, Njoku, Tank Bigsby, who I'm thinking about putting in. I got Cooper Kupp on IR. That's one team. Now, my other team, I have Lamar Jackson, Stephon Diggs, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Mason, Kenneth Walker, Debo Samuel, David Montgomery, Goddard, Mark Andrews, Dobbins, Trevor Lawrence as my backup quarterback. I got Alec Pierce as my receiver on the bench. I got Brandon Cooks. He's on IR. I got Harrison Buckner as my kicker. And I have Detroit Lions as my defense.
Of course you do have Detroit.
Of course. Again, you know I got to stay with my squad and my other team.
Of course.
My third lead, I got Kyler Murray as the quarterback, Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, James Conner, J.K. Dobbins. I got McBride, Jameson Williams. I got Isaiah Likely on the bench. I got Akine, or however you pronounce it. He on a bye week, so he's not playing. I got Tank Digsby. I got Puka Nacua on IR. I have Bates as my kicker, and I have Sanders as my other kicker. And, of course, I have the Lions defense. But like I said, I switch out defenses every week. I just had to grab the Lions defense because it's the home team.
Well, all right.
A lot of those were waiver wires.
Yeah, that waiver wire, man. Is your team name reflective of the fact that you just be watching the waiver wire?
It should be. I should be the waiver master.
Waving by.
Ride the wave.
The master waiver and shit.
Whoa. Yeah, almost. Yeah, but that could work. That could work.
Oh, LSU won in overtime.
Wow.
I saw that coming.
Yeah.
I saw that coming when they survived that, when they came back.
Ole Miss kicked the field goal, in overtime because that defense was defense. And then I guess Ole Miss defense just couldn't hold them. They came down in 2 plays, scored a touchdown. That's it.
So, Doc, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to throw it to you. If Michigan were to lose 2 more games and miss the college football playoff, would you be in support of Sharon Moore being let go and Lane Kiffin potentially being hired in Ann Arbor?
I'd say give him a little more time. It's his first year, man. He ain't really he has a rebuild, man. He lost 18 out of 22 starters. Like, give him some time. I don't believe in getting rid of a coach within their first season of coaching. Like, you don't know what he can do. So far, he's not doing bad with what he got. And he don't have a quarterback. We all know this. So let's give him some time, give him a little talent, and then see what he does. Now, next year, once they add a little more talent to that roster, if he ends up missing the college playoffs or they just end up stinking it up, then okay, I think it's time to rethink who our coaches are next year. Yeah. I give him 2 years, maybe 3 at the max to kind of get the wheels rolling. Because like I said, that's 18 out of 22 starters gone. I'm not going to fire you after almost our whole team is gone to either graduation or to the NFL. Like, I'm gonna give you a little bit more time, a little bit more chance than that. Like, 1 year is not enough. Plus, they got all these new additions to the Big Ten, so competition is a lot tougher. It's not like how it was last year. Like, you got to give them some time to adjust to the new things that's going on right now.
Absolutely. And again, so Karush is asking, Singletary's out this week. Okay, so he's saying conclusively that Tyrone Tracy's going to have the backfield. I'm going to just double check on that part of it. Yeah, he is officially ruled out as of just a few hours ago. That, again, soft tissue, groin. So Tracy, just for context, guys, if you have the space, I will reiterate it for the nth degree in nth time for that matter. Soft tissue injury is not going to go away. It's going to linger the entire season. So Tyrone Tracy, who is a very versatile back, I got to witness it firsthand. He had 18 times, only 18, right? Similar to Josh Jacobs type of production in terms of just carries. What did that equal? 129 yards. That type of usage puts, like, it slingshots Tyrone Tracy into RB2 territory. And so to his point about Bigsby being an RB2, again, we kind of emphasized where those concerns are based on how much of a factor ETN remains. Again, he's playing for his job, right? And we often kind of take the human element out of it, but that certainly is why he is there. So hopefully, again, it'll be. Well, we're going to learn here in just a few short hours. So I do want to say salute. I did see in the we were kind of tagged a little earlier. People watching from the UK as well, getting ready for that game here this morning, at least for us on the other side of the pond. Here we go. My wide receivers are Chase, Garrett, Wilson, Cooper Kupp, and Cooper. Okay.
And Amari Cooper.
Pulled off that decently. Okay, so again, that 0 RB strategy, and that's what he ultimately got in return.
Yeah. So it worked out. It worked out in his case.
Yeah, 4-1. Also, who would you start out of his running back? So again, if I were to go back up, Adam. So he can get Tracy. Now I would say absolutely. Right? We're talking about a guy that was only getting with Tajay Spears. We said at most was 42%, was not getting enough in terms of 2.6 yards per carry. I don't know why I remember that, but there you go. So not nearly enough. And we know he has, no, where's Adams' other running backs? Dowdle. So Uncle Rico, Kareem Hunt, J.K. Dobbins, and Bigsby. I think that's phenomenal, dude. Yeah, absolutely. I totally pulled the trigger on that because I think I predicted that this was going to be Tyrone Tracy's backfield. I don't see how Devin Singletary completely gets it back, especially with a lingering injury, right? He never truly had a solid chokehold on the position. It was more so Tyrone Tracy was hurt to start the year, so they slowly worked him back, and then, of course, just right on time. So I think that's incredible. Hunt. Yep.
Not. I'm leaning Etienne and Dobbins.
Oof.
Yeah, silent.
All right, so let's see here. Going to I want to see my JK stuff. I said anytime touchdown. So if I already did that, then I think I'm even in too deep.
Yeah, you're in them deep waters right there.
Right. Doc, where's my waiver guy? Like he's wavering out of the chat. Let's see. Who do we got with these guys? Gully, what do you think? I mean, you've heard kind of the case be made for some of these guys. I think all of us with the pause there, we all did the effective pause.
Yeah, because it is effectively a pick 'em. I know that, and it sounds like a cop out. At the risk of it sounding like a cop out, I think given the mix and match of players and where he has in situations, I think I know why they might be asking for help, because it looks as if they might be looking for not lightning in the bottom, but I might be looking for a surefire thing where a lot of the tandems that they have, it's a lot of ambiguity. So and with those things, you take a chance on it, right? You got to build off of it from next week. I think if you approach it like a fantasy football, as if it was real football and it was just that player versus that game. If you're unsure, stay the course and see what you get. Just pay attention to the situations that they're in now, and then that way you can have that experience to go on later. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, my only issue with J.K. Dobbins is, once again, it's a terrible matchup.
It depends on who they playing. Who are they playing?
Denver. One of the better.
I'm starting Dobbins, man, because he can catch out the backfield too. He's more than just out the backfield running. I'm sorry. It's Denver, bro.
It's a division game too.
Denver.
I don't have no faith in their defense. Their offense ain't gonna be able to move the ball like that. Their defense gonna constantly be out there on the field. They're gonna get tired. And J.K. Dobbins, once he turns up and breaks off, it's a wrap. He's gonna get you some points, bro. It's Denver. Their defense is not gonna be able to keep up because that offense ain't gonna be able to move the ball like that.
Yeah, this is why I love the group that we have, because again, slightly different vantage points and lenses. From my analytical side, I'm always looking for as close as a sure thing. But what we can guarantee is he's going to get at least about 70. He's been trending upwards, right? It started as a shared backfield, and it's gone further and further away from that. Durability, I'm going to throw out the window for the time being, because that's unfortunately until proven otherwise.
And let's take a look at what Young Star 210 asked.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So again, yeah, I don't have any issue there. And then moving along, we have all right. Hey, we appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you. All right. So now you asked me, but we're gonna put the group. So he's got start this week. He's got Mark Andrews. Wait a minute. Baltimore at I just looked it up. Or Zach Ertz versus Cleveland this week. Yeah, that's a pick. That's a sure.
I'm gonna say it like this because I have Mark Andrews. Be careful, because he has not produced the way he has in previous seasons. He's not. I don't know if it's because likely he's become a bigger target because they have a Derrick Henry now, but Mark Andrews isn't getting the targets he was getting. He's not getting the yardage he was getting. He's not getting the touchdowns he was getting. He only got me like 5 points a couple weeks ago, and then he was hurt for a little bit when I likely came in. So I would lean more towards Zach Ertz because likely is such a big part of this offense. I don't see Mark Andrews getting a whole bunch of points. But you can't go wrong starting them either because you never know. You never know.
Somebody's due for a breakout game, right?
Yeah, somebody due for a breakout game. And Mark Andrews hasn't had his yet. I'm not saying this Sunday will be his breakout game, but I'm saying be wary because he's not producing the way he used to. Like I used to think,
with
Mark
Andrews.
Washington. Yeah, see, he's not
versus
Washington
like that. So Double J, real quick, what can you kind of go back into the analytics of Washington's defense, or at least, or to give us some insight on what could possibly be a case for Mark Andrews?
It was about just recency bias of him now kind of climbing out of the depths of obscurity, at least in the sense of likely getting the red zone targets. So again, how bad do you need that? How are you touchdown dependent, right? So likely had the 2 touchdowns. Andrews had the 5 targets with the average route running of about his route breaks were, I want to say, roughly 11 yards, which I said was north of where the average wide receivers route breaks are now because of the 2 high safety look. So overall, Gully, I want to point out to you that the Ravens defense, just as a reminder, allowed the 26 most points to the opposing tight ends.
Wait a minute, the Ravens defense allowed the most.
26th most to opposing tight ends.
Okay.
So this to me, low end tight end 1. So I would put him matchup wise, I'd probably throw him at 11 because of that, 10 or 11. If I just spitballing right off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'm saying be careful.
In all of that, you saying Zach Ertz versus the beloved Brownies, huh? It's probably a better pick. So Young Star 210 from the Shop Report. We're gonna go ahead and recommend Zach Ertz.
Yeah, that's a safe play.
Yeah, like I said, Mark Andrews too wishy-washy, bro. That's why he's on my bench right now.
The sporadic and unproductiveness and unpredictability of the Cleveland offense lends itself to Cleveland's defense being exhausted from having to play, and therefore you get more productivity, of course, from the Eagles offense because they'll probably win a time of possession battle. And given that they'll win a time of possession battle, more likely to have those touches. Especially, I think, too, if
They
you
got
got,
Dallas Goddard. Like, come on, man.
what'd you say?
They said Philly got Dallas Goddard. He about to eat them up on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, dude, it's just
If you got Goddard, start Goddard right away.
get to week 7 for Nick Chubb, please.
yeah.
You know what though? Barbershop Jay has like polluted my mind now that I keep thinking they're going to win a game because they're not supposed to. And
because that's what's supposed to happen. Remember last year, or was that 2 years ago? When the Browns beat San Francisco, had no business doing it.
No business at all.
No business whatsoever.
I'm glad I didn't bet on that game because I sure did not bet on them to win.
Yeah. So that's what happens here. Could this be we're not supposed to win a game tomorrow? Certainly looks that way. Philadelphia's had some questions to answer for themselves anyway, but it looks like they're coming along and they're getting themselves together quite nicely. So it would be good for the Browns to do the same. Don't know how likely that's going to happen. Yeah.
They need new ownership.
All right, here's a question. Browns 1-4. Now, see, if you get to 2-4 and Nick Chubb returns, then and Nick Chubb returns and is and is productive, it's a bit of a battle, but the outlook on the season looks quite a bit different. It looks measurably different than being 1-5.
Nick Chubb is never gonna actually get back to being 100 because they rely on him so much.
Right.
Like, yeah, he's gonna come back, but he's not gonna be the same Nick Chubb because he's gonna be getting beat up. Who else are they gonna rely on? Jerome Ford. Like, what is he gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, who are they gonna throw to? What is Amari Cooper gonna do? Nothing. Like, what is Deshaun Watson gonna do other than dance around in the pocket before he throws a horrible pass or an interception?
Jeez.
This team should be the Cleveland Nick Chubbs and Garrett Miles. That's what they should be. Right. The Cleveland Miles, because they don't have nobody. They don't have nobody. Right? It's rough. It's rough in Cleveland. They're gonna have to restructure their whole offense. Like, the defense is always good. The defense is always clicking, but that offense is where they struggle the most. Yeah. You wouldn't pay this man $230 million guaranteed without him playing a game for y'all yet. Not even giving him a prove-it season. You didn't give him to the prove-it season. You just assumed this is going to be the same Deshaun Watson you seen in the Houston Texans, ignoring the downfall he had before he ended up going to the bench. Like, he was spiraling down before all these allegations even came out.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. He was.
No, he wasn't, bro. They were 4-12, but he had the second highest QBR in the league.
Yeah,
he had the second highest QBR in the league.
Downward spiral. He did. Nothing.
He had the second highest QBR in the league behind Aaron Rodgers.
And that says a lot.
No, Aaron Rodgers was the league MVP.
Okay, they gave him a participation award. I'm sorry, I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I'm being.
I know, and it shows.
I don't like Aaron
but it's
Rodgers.
okay. It's okay. I mean,
I'm
not the biggest fan of him.
I'm always biased when it comes to sharing.
Performance-wise, right? Listen, I've been saying this all week. I want Deshaun Watson out of here. Get ready.
He should have never been here in the first place.
No, I want him out of here. You know what? I want him out. I want Deshaun Watson out of here because I think we'll get truly. Cleveland will get what they deserve by getting Deshaun Watson out of here. Sounds like the narrative has already been made about him. There's no leniency or there's no consideration of maybe there could have been an agenda, and we'll leave it at that. But Deshaun Watson is 5-1. He performed just as well at quarterback last season as Joe Flacco. They both went 5-1.
Gully, you posted in the Discord, and for those that are not aware, we have the Shop Report does have a Discord. We'll have the fantasy channel added within it as well. for those that are interested, of course, email the shopreport365@gmail.com, or of course, feel free to. We'll have the subscriptions here set up on X as well as on Facebook. Literally, folks, it's $1. I mean, we make it. We're the
You
value
lose
play
more
here.
money than this in the washing machine every week.
There you go. So be on the lookout for that. But Gully, you posted an article there from Nick Wright about the only escape for the Browns with Deshaun Watson. I told you I went and looked over the contract, saw it was kind of ironclad. The earliest ability to cut ties would have been about 2 years from now. And still you would be in kind of cap purgatory at that point.
See, yeah, every scenario is what'll happen is you trade Deshaun Watson.
Ain't nobody gonna want Deshaun Watson.
No, but Nick Wright's scenario is plausible in the sense that you trade Deshaun Watson and the number 4 pick, which Browns would get. I think they have a number 4 pick. I don't know if it's guaranteed or maybe the way they're looking at the Browns' first round pick. You trade Deshaun Watson and the first round pick. The team that picks up Deshaun Watson, they cut him. Now, a team cutting Deshaun Watson in this contract has a smaller penalty than the Browns cutting. So they do that. They still have that first round pick. They can still rebuild or retool or further fortify whatever situation they're in. Right. Deshaun Watson is free to figure himself out or play himself into a better situation, which is what I almost certainly think he will do. There are teams that are probably still going to take a chance on him. I'm telling you like this. I'm standing on the idea that I think there was I am on the side or the perspective that there was a conspiracy at play here.
He'll be a great backup.
Yep. Yeah. His greater backup as Joe Flacco was for Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
As great a backup as Joe Flacco is for Indianapolis. Basically, a starter that they decided can't play anymore, but when they happen to rely on him, he actually comes through.
Mm-hmm.
So like Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson goes somewhere, reinvents himself, re-energizes himself, becomes a capable quarterback in this league, gives the Browns exactly what they deserve for having moved on from Baker Mayfield.
You know what? He'll be the black Gardner Minshew. Because Gardner Minshew was a great backup for years. Now look at him. Starting in Oakland, doing his thing, or at least trying to. He don't look bad, but
right.
I see the same path for Deshaun Watson. He's on the end of a backup somewhere till somebody takes a chance on him, and then he might show out.
Flourish, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because it's only the Cleveland way.
Mm-hmm.
That franchise, they have a certain idea for what a position or what a quarterback should look like. And then
Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders to the Browns next year.
It'll never happen.
Shedeur to the Browns next year.
Oh boy.
Nope. Coach would not allow for that, and it would never happen.
They don't want no quarterback over there in Cleveland.
Oh man,
I was waiting for. You sound just like him, Doc. That's exactly what.
Yeah,
they don't want no brother over there in Cleveland. They don't want no brother to start quarterback in Cleveland.
That's it. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we got another one here. This is Sermon or Gibson from Levi. Woo. Okay, so again, we talked about Gibson. Levi didn't let us know if you can. Is it a PPR? What format? Again, the struggle with Gibson is he's only averaging, 2.6 yards a carry?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just branded in there. So
right.
That's really the issue here. Yes, obviously it's enticing because Ramondre Stevenson is out. But with Trey Sermon, similarly, there is no Jonathan Taylor. Interestingly enough, though, you run into a similar issue. Who is quarterback of this team? No different than, as we pointed out with Pittman, if it's Anthony Richardson, avoid Pittman.
Right.
If it is Joe Flacco, play Pittman. And I believe Sermon will actually be a benefactor to that and will likely get a goal line touchdown as well, which we've seen historically his ability to do that. Also, better pass catcher. So I would go. I would say factor that into your final decision, but I like Sermon a little bit more if we're talking in this standard format. Higher touchdown potential over Antonio Gibson.
I'm taking Sermon over that 2.6 yards a carry.
There you go. Yeah, that's really the big thing.
Because what it's going to boil down to, if Gibson don't get into the end zone, you looking at about 8 to 9 points out of your back, and that's pathetic. I give him 10 on a good day, 10 maybe 11, but that's it. That's not high percentage points for a running back.
Absolutely.
If you touchdown dependent, I don't know if his league is, but I'm taking Sermon.
Love that. Yep, I'm on the same page. No complaints here. All right, we have Boone, who is asking, which three should I start? Dobbs, Wicks, Tucker, and Keon. So again, Keon Coleman, we said with the running back issues, again, I think it's a coin toss between Ray Davis and the other individual over there. Ray Davis has been my long shot. I don't believe that's my heart. I do believe it is my head. There is data supporting it, but it's just right now about maybe 55-45 between the two. So it's still something that we would have to wait and see. But Dobbs, unfortunately, is he playing? Is he back now? Because obviously with what happened with the suspension, he will play this week. Okay, so as of yesterday, he will play after he was suspended by the team. Okay, so he was commanding.
I wouldn't risk starting him, though.
That's the thing. So it's so weird to me that, listen to this, Doc, right? He complained, but he had 86% of the snaps with 8 targets.
Well,
That's not a bad game. What more did you want? I told you I love him, right? But how many more targets did you want, bro?
He sounds like Devontae Adams in that I told you, that diva toxic ass that diva attitude. Like, I need the ball. Like what my man saying Friday Night Lights, you want to win, put Booby in. That's who you think he is. Like, bro, what is your problem? We giving you the ball, Booby. You just ain't getting it done.
This is where it starts. Almost, we talked about chemistry. Okay, now we start talking about like A-type personalities. Now it starts getting into like we're going way off topic. But do you think Jordan Love and the Packers like really make it an emphasis to get him the ball this week where he could take advantage of it?
No, I think they're going to try to get him as many targets as they can, but I don't think they're going to make that their main priority. If you're a great quarterback, you're going to get the ball to who's open. And if it ain't Dobbs, I'm sorry, Dobbs, but the ball's not going to you. And again, that's going to turn into him having issues with it. Oh, I'm not getting enough targets, blah, blah, blah. And that's going to push the chemistry further apart. Like I told you, that chemistry is not there. They're not clicking on all cylinders, and that's why they're 3-2 instead of 4-1.
Yeah, clicking. Again, between him, with him playing now, it does kind of water down the ceiling for Wicks.
Yeah.
Unless him being active and him being used, like there's a lot of uncertainty here with how they go about doing it. And this is where, again, I hate the fact that we're talking about non-football things having a potentially substantial role in what actually transpires on the field. So the problem that I have, however, with Romeo Dobbs, as much as I like him, is that he has not gotten over 12 points this season.
See what I'm saying? He wants the ball all the time.
And the yards per target for the season they're low single digits. Outside of that Indianapolis game, So we're talking about, again, even when he had the eight targets with Minnesota, it was, roughly about just shy of 5. But yards per catch, again, at about 9.75. So, again, that's still in essentially what I would consider kind of that middle ground yellow zone. Arizona is a great matchup. It is. This is something that there is a Green Bay wide receiver that would be value here. Keon Coleman is an unknown. It should work. It should work. It hasn't. I mean, it literally, a ball hit him in the helmet. Like, folks, that's my problem here with him. What I saw him do at Michigan State and ultimately at Florida State is not the guy that I'm seeing here currently, and it's not a great matchup for Josh Allen. I would stay away from him. He said, which 3 should I start?
Well, you only got one person you can take out of this list. I would take Dobbs out because what I see them doing with Dobbs coming back from suspension and all that, since the chemistry is not there, I see them using Dobbs as a decoy a lot. They're going to make Dobbs go down the field, drag that over the top safety with them, and now, boom, the middle of the field is wide open all game. I feel like they're gonna really use him as a decoy. Like, I'm not saying they're not gonna throw him the ball because eventually that decoy stuff defense is gonna catch on to that. So what I think is gonna happen once the defense catch on, they might start feeding them, but it depends on how long it's gonna take for the defense to catch on to he's just a decoy before they actually start giving him the ball. And you can't risk that in fantasy. Like, you can't. You need every point that you can get.
Right. And so, yeah, absolutely. That's just Wicks, though, being what would be the third option, kind of the third wheel. If Doc is correct, then Wicks becomes the factor. You could factor him in. Again, Keon should be better, should get more opportunity. Will he catch the ball, or will he eat it off his helmet again?
I don't trust Keon.
All right, we have Johnny. He's asking, which 2 should I start this week? Mike Evans, Darnell Mooney, Zay Flowers.
Flowers and Evans, baby.
Yeah. Yes.
Flowers and Evans.
Yeah, you said
Evans
it right before.
A multi 1,000-yard receiving receiver. And you got Zay Flowers, a breakout star in Baltimore. I'm taking them too.
I don't see any equation where Mike Evans is going to have a bad game or be unproductive. The Bucks winning or losing
Evans
is not a determining factor in how well Mike Evans is going to perform. Right.
One thing you got to know about Mike go Mike.
Well,
Mike go Mike. Right.
All right. I'm going to pop the balloon here. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid.
Shit. Snap.
Right.
Carolina's allowed the most passing touchdowns and the second most yards per pass attempt to opposing offenses. Darnell Mooney is on his snap percentage has never been below 93% this year. Now, his targets have never, he had outside of that Pittsburgh week, right? Well, Pittsburgh is better defensively than probably they are offensively. I don't think that's really going out on a limb. And listen to some of these other teams, right? Kansas City, New Orleans, where you had guys like Lattimore that we talked about. We talked about Kansas City's defense and what they did to, some of the other opponents a little earlier. Tampa Bay, yes, he took advantage of it. Yes, he had 16 targets, but he did what you were supposed to do. The only concern I have is if they run it up on Carolina, where if he doesn't score early, he may not be, they may not have the need to throw the ball, where the game script now favors the run. And that's where you see guys like London and others being more of a factor, or Bijan and Algier, for that matter, and more short stuff. But that's where I could absolutely. And then we talked about with Mike Evans, even though, again, he should be start your studs, right? Almost like no matter what. But The only problem with Darnell Mooney this week is that he's playing a bad team where they may not be able to keep up and no longer have the need to continue to throw the ball, where he certainly is not going to get 16 targets like he did last week. But if he gets 6 or 8, can he add the touchdown, or is he going to end up somewhere like he did against Kansas City where it was about 17 points? What I don't want to see is a 6-target game for 96 yards and 10 PPR points. So Mike Evans, again, we talked about Lattimore with New Orleans, but that could be the only – that's something just to kind of keep an eye on, right? We talked about limited on his practice, on the practice side of that. As far as Zay Flowers, we've been saying it, right? Who they're playing against, how bad they've been. And where that point total from Vegas is projected to be. If not now, then when? You know, we've seen with Andrews and likely that the targets aren't necessarily really going there. So someone else has to do something also. So if not now, then when? And then moving on, we have Cade, who's asking, should I start DeAndre Swift or Tony Pollard?
I'm starting Swift over Pollard. Pollard hasn't been producing this season. I had to drop him.
Here, oh man.
Yeah, I dropped him, bro.
So obviously we don't like Tajay Spears. Tony Pollard has a favorable matchup. But DeAndre Swift, did he say PPR or not? Let's see.
He didn't say.
He didn't say.
Because here's the thing.
Is it PPR or not?
Yeah, that matters. Especially like
it does. In this instance?
So in this case, so I'll give you an example here with Swift. Against the Rams, he had 7 targets and ultimately 7 receptions for 72 yards. So it was more of the true DeAndre Swift that we had hoped, not the guy who was sharing a backfield. And again, these last 2 weeks, he's gone off. He's had 33 and 27 points, and now he gets a crappy Jacksonville defense.
Right.
So it should be him. Now, again, if it were a normal week, I would say Tony Pollard, no way. And or possibly kind of reversing this, but Tony Pollard's creeping into RB1 territory because of the Colts matchup.
Yeah, but is he really worth starting this week, though?
That's the thing. So look, when we talk about snap percentage, we're watching DeAndre Swift's increase, and similarly with Tony Pollard over the last few weeks, he's kind of slightly stayed even, right? We know he's sharing it with Tajay Spears. And unfortunately, it's just the matchup, dude. It really is the matchup. They're both.
Hey. Oh, yep. Kay responded to us. Thanks. Thank you, Young Star. Thank you for finding us on Twitch. I know we'll be there Saturdays at 9 on the PM side for the shop report, and then Mondays at 9:30.
Yeah, rankings say Detroit, but please do not go Detroit for your defense. If you can grab Philly, grab Philly.
Yeah, who's your available?
Right. Yeah. You got to hit that waiver wire.
I would say if the Chargers are there, grab the Chargers. Etienne or Pittman. Again, who's the quarterback? Yeah. Who will be the quarterback?
Hey, if the Texans defense is available, tell them to take them. They play the New England Patriots.
And then we have Victor, Etienne, Deontay. We talked about Deontay a little earlier. JK or Kirk. Again, Kirk, JK, Kirk.
Kirk or JK if you go on touchdowns. Caleb or Kirk? Caleb who?
Williams.
Oh.
Must be a super fly.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know what kind of league that is. I'm gonna go with Kirk.
Really? Not Williams. Williams is gonna be the one throwing the touchdowns.
Wait. Kirk. The Falcons have who? We don't they got the
Oh,
same?
Kirk Cousins. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Christian Kirk. My bad, bro.
No.
I'm thinking Christian Kirk. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, bro.
I think
What?
Kirk Cousins.
Let me see who they play before I give my answer. I don't want to tell you something and be
I
wrong.
thought they
We're
have
Carolina, remember?
Oh yeah,
who's
I'm going
got
Kirk
Carolina?
Cousins. The Falcons.
Falcons.
Falcons have Carolina.
I'm going Cousins all day.
Yeah,
I'm taking Cousins all day. They play the Panthers. And that trash defense they got. Oh yeah, Cousins about to look like right. Cousins about to look like Tom Brady out there.
Hefty cinch sack. Right.
Kirk Cousins about to go out there and do what the Falcons should have did when they played in the Super Bowl.
Well, they did it for a half.
He gonna finish the game.
Oh my!
Yeah, I'm starting Kirk over Caleb. Yeah. Only reason I'm starting Caleb this week because Kirk wasn't available.
Fly Nelly's got another one.
Okay,
he's got another one.
Go.
Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers, George Pickens, Zach Moss, Darnell Mooney, Najee Harris, or Keon Coleman. Need to start 3 of these guys for a 12-man PPR.
All right. I'm going to give you my 3, and y'all can go ahead and give up y'all 3. But I'm taking Zay Flowers, Najee Harris, and that third one is a toss-up between Pickens and Mooney. I don't know who I should pick the third one. It's a toss-up between Pickens and Mooney. I'm leaning more towards Pickens, but who's the starting quarterback?
No, I want nothing to do with George Pickens. I loved him, but he's taking plays off. Something's wrong.
Well, if that's the case, go Mooney.
Yeah, give me Mooney all day. Absolutely.
Zay Flowers, Mooney, and Harris.
Bam. No, Smith. Wait. Where's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, is he gonna get them touchdowns though? Ain't this the league that's touchdown dependent though?
12-man PPR.
Did he say standard? No, he said PPR.
Okay. Well, Devontae, Zay Flowers, and Harris.
Oh, dude. No, now you got me thinking between those two.
Hey, Zay Flowers is a must though. I'm not gonna.
All right, so
I'm taking.
No, it's really just Devontae Smith or. Yeah, no way. Give me Devontae
man,
Smith.
go all wideouts. I don't know. To go all wideouts is kind of a.
That's why I threw Najee in there.
Flowers and Mooney.
Let me get Harris.
Well, yeah, you got Najee versus Oakland.
That's why I threw Najee in there. You got Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers, and Najee.
So Najee's last 3 games without splitting the backfield have in a PPR format have been 16, 14, and 15
points.
Yeah. Devontae Smith. Let's see. Should have just looked at my own roster. In the games he played, which were those first 3, 20, 20, 18.
Yeah, Devontae, Zay, and Najee for sure.
But who's the matchup's Cleveland? So, Gully, talk to us about the Cleveland backfield or the wideouts. Or I'm sorry, the corners rather.
The corners, well, it's a lot of struggle here. No, not necessarily. All right, let's go back to last week versus Washington. That Cleveland defense and secondary started out the second half on with a lightning rod, with a wave of energy, right? Mm-hmm. Forced an interception that ultimately couldn't be turned into a touchdown. And so that affected I think that affected the whole psyche morale of the team. When reflecting on that has an instance, I'm giving insight to the fact that Cleveland secondary could actually hold up pretty well. They can get I think they can make some stops. They can make things hard for a team. And if you in a PPR league, if you're in the standard league, yeah, Cleveland's defense or Cleveland secondary may pose a challenge for you if you want to start a wide out or whatnot versus playing Cleveland.
You know I don't have faith in Cleveland's defense?
Why?
Because they're gonna be out there too long. They're gonna get winded.
That's what I'm
They ain't
saying.
gonna
Yeah,
be able to
yeah.
produce.
And I took the
I
long-winded
was with
defense.
you on everything you said, but until I realized you're not thinking about the Cleveland defense the way I'm thinking about the Cleveland defense.
No,
that
and
offense
you know
is
what?
not gonna keep them off the field long enough
And you know
for them
what?
to keep producing the way you said they were.
Right. And you know what? And remember, I had mentioned that same fact not too long ago. As far as the offense, as far as being spent, pretty much. It's just being spent. You know what I'm saying? Scheme, and personnel. They have actually formidable matchups. It's a matter of art. It's time of possession. Time of possession from the opposition. I think time of possession for Philadelphia is going to tell the tale about this game. And knowing that Cleveland is limited offensively because of personnel and scheme and psyche or what have you, they're probably going to just draw them out, keep them long on the field. Don't try to shoot it out. Just grind, wear them down. You know what I'm saying? Punches to the body, wear them down, and then take over a game. That being said, versus the secondary, they're going to wear down very quickly. Not very quickly, but they're going to wear down as well. And that's
you're right. They're going to wear down quickly. You're right. They're going to wear down quickly.
Yeah.
Because that offense is going to be a bunch of 3 and outs, brother.
No, valid point. Additionally, well, it's a fly, Nelly fly. So I wonder if, again, potentially a Philly fan in there as well. So a little added incentive on Devontae Smith. We have Johnny. Should I try to trade Kyren Williams before Cooper Kupp and Puka and just in general Rams offense comes back? Do you think he'll continue to be the same production? So, Johnny, the reason I'm going to say yes is he produced even last season when both were there, and then when they both, when one was absent and the other, basically when they rotated.
Kyren is a beast. I wouldn't trade Kyren. Because before Cooper Kupp and Puka come back, that's all you got, Playboy.
But Johnny, it depends what else you need, right? Because you're talking about a top 10 running back. And so if there is something you can get in return, because his production, his usage isn't really going to drop, because that would only come from guys like Blake Corum, who is honestly why his ADP had dropped. There was a lot of concern there early in the season, but Sean McVay's done nothing but continue to use him. He's getting the goal line touches. Everything has been kind of fantastic for him. And that's in spite of not having those targets going to, like you said, Cooper Kupp. And so again, when this is with defenses really being able to hone in on Kyren Williams, because those incredible targets that Matthew Stafford typically has, Stafford, they're no longer visible. And that's why he's kind of struggling.
Detroit no more. It's out a lot of disrespect.
Cade, I'm new to fantasy. What does PPR mean? Cade, that means point per reception. So each catch, even if it goes negative yardage,
right,
would net a point.
So you want to look at those points per reception. When I did manage and create the commission leagues, I was a big proponent of having points per reception, points per carry, points per even attempt, because when you're dealing with, we're playing fantasy football or what have you. We're not playing, but they're playing. You can tell if a team is limited in one area or another, it would penalize other teams for constantly moving the ball in one direction or moving the ball in one manner, knowing that they're going to be unproductive. So, like, let's look at the case of, classically, the example I've been making, the Cleveland Browns. Absent their starting running back, they were going to be pass heavy. You've drafted a player to be pass heavy. Whether he gets touchdowns or not, you would trust that he could at least get receptions, at least get attempts. So that's where drafting an Amari Cooper or Judy on a team in a league with a PPR could have an advantage for you, because they're going to get looks. So that's what PPR does for you.
Absolutely. And so Chandler is asking, start Dobbs, Downs, Slayton, Ingram, or Goddard.
Hey,
and then
start
Eagles.
Goddard, bro. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I got
Oh,
Goddard.
there you go. Yeah.
Start Goddard, bro.
Yeah.
Start Goddard.
PPR, he said.
Start Goddard. Start Goddard. I wouldn't start Dobbs over Slayton, though. It's just because I don't feel like they're going to really target Dobbs like that. I feel like he's going to be used more as a decoy before they start throwing him the ball.
I want to see the hot hand with Darius Slayton. Right? We talked about Daniel Jones having a good week. If that's going to actually be true, he's going to have to do what he did similar to last week versus Seattle. Right? This is where we talked about the points. Right? The Vegas says this game is going to score a lot of points. If that is going to be true, and Danny Dimes, I can't believe I just said that, is going to do what we've seen him do in these types of games that I alluded to earlier, then Darius Slayton, I don't believe he'll get 11 targets necessarily, but he very well could end up at maybe flip-flop those numbers. So instead of 32 PPR points, he ends up at 23. Mike,
which still ain't bad. It's better than what Dobbs is going to end up with.
But absolutely, exactly, Doc. To your point, that is absolutely better than what Romeo Dobbs would do. And
I'm not saying he's not going to score, but he's not.
You nailed it. Gully, you see it any different?
No, I don't.
And then as far as Evan Ingram, again, he is questionable now. It's kind of wild what's going on in Jacksonville. Like, these guys were out. Okay, like there was no like if. Now all of a sudden they're like, this just happened even with Cincinnati. We were talking about a little earlier with guys like Zach Moss, who were supposed to be out, which would lead to a big day for Chase Brown. Now Zach Moss is questionable, or he's off the injury report, good to go. Like what?
Right.
Like in a matter of 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't trust that.
So again, kind of proceed with caution. I still don't, again, if Evan Ingram, I don't think is truly healthy. So I don't know what's going on. To see him and ETN rush back like that is there's some red flags going on behind the scenes. I don't know what, I can't say what for sure, but I've never witnessed that. Unless a team was in playoff contention or something along those lines, in which, of course, they really aren't. So, Zach Moss or Tank Dell at flex. So again, for those that don't know,
So flex.
You'd be crazy to put Dell on the bench. Like what?
Oh, you go ahead, Double J. You got it.
What? No, you guys are absolutely nailing it. He's going to be a huge beneficiary. I had him last year. I couldn't believe that stupid goal line carry. If you guys saw that play, they had him kind of motion out and then come back in, and they handed it to him, and then he got crushed and broke his leg. I'm like, the guy's like 4 foot. Like he is not a big dude by any means. And you tried to run him like that.
Right.
Like what are we doing? And then he broke his leg. Like
he's a Debo Samuel. He's not a Debo.
Right. He got deboed though.
Yeah, he did.
He's more like a Smokey, not a Debo.
He was going to talk again, and he's going to talk again now. That day is now.
Right. So, Joshua and Julian kind of got the same question. At flex. So flex is a position where, depending on your team, the way the league is organized, flex is the ability to have an additional
running back, receiver.
Running back, yeah. Some teams, it can vary. Some of them have what they call WRT, or might be a WT. So that means flex player could be running back, wide receiver, or tight end. Other leagues may just limit it to another running back, another wide
Or a
receiver.
wide receiver. See, this is my first league and my first time being in a league where they offer you a WRT. That is the best, bro. Because that waiver wire I was telling you about opens up so many more options now.
Right. Yeah, because there are situations where two tight ends
are the truth, bro.
Yes.
Like 2 tight ends can really get you some points, especially if you get like a Dallas Goedert and a Travis Kelce, or a Dallas Goedert and a
because you know
Isaiah Likely, or like teams that use tight ends heavy. If you can get both of those playing, bro, you are winning.
Because you know what, when you think about a WRT situation, depending on what type of tight end what team you draft, tight ends might that starter. I'll put it this way: both the tight ends could collectively give you the production of your running back or wide
and
receiver.
Your receiver. Yeah,
right. So that's where you don't miss. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you get a tight end that's used heavily in the red zone. Oh,
right. Those. Oh man. I remember. What's my man's name? Oh boy, Mercedes Lewis. Right, was he tight end? Yeah. That was a great pickup all those years ago, right? In those short yardage goal line, red zone situations, those are lovely. So given the question that we have from Julian and Joshua, now he added Wandale, Tank, or Tank Dale.
I'm starting.
Tank. Oh no, Wandale or Tank Dale, and then Zach Moss or Dale.
Yeah, so this one is actually close for me because for context, guys, when Malik Neighbors went down, this is what it's led to for Wandale Robinson. So 8 targets for 17 points against Cleveland, 14 targets for 20 points against Dallas, and then 18 points with 9 targets against Seattle with a touchdown. So he only had six grabs, but again, he's basically averaging at least 17 points. Tank Dell, we know, is a deep ball, could be a deep ball threat. And I love air yards.
Right.
And so I fully anticipate, no different than we talked about with just this Giants matchup against Cincinnati is on paper should be phenomenal. But now we have a couple weeks of seeing these receivers being explosive by and large, not just thanks to Daniel Jones, but then also guys like Tyrone Tracy being able to capitalize off of that and really kind of keep the defense on their toes a little bit more. And both of these are high scoring games. I don't really believe he can really go wrong here. I think it's more so when you look at Houston. All right, so let's remember this now. With Houston's matchup at Green Bay, we watched Green Bay get torched by Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who eats more for you guys out of Stephon Diggs, who's now been in the spotlight with some strange things? I guess that's the politest and mildest way I can put it.
Yep.
Do you think that's a distraction at all?
Yeah.
I'm taking Tank Dell in the flex. Yeah, I'm taking Tank.
Taking Tank at the flex.
Yeah, I'm taking Tank at the flex.
Yeah. We could be wrong. But
we could, but on paper, since Joey loves that paper.
Yeah.
On paper, Tank Dell is the obvious choice here.
Yeah, I'm going back and I'm looking at my own rankings here, and I have Tank Dell as a top 20 receiver this week, which is above Wandale Robinson. They're both, they're both top 30, but certainly, again, that's right around where Amari Cooper is and Wicks, those types of guys where, the Devontae Smiths and Brian Thomas and Zay Flowers are right in that kind of 19 to 22 space. So again, both are set up for solid weeks. Do I start J.K. Dobbins at the RB2? I have Gibbs at RB1, and then Dell and Robinson at flex. So coincidentally, I mean, literally, I just said I had Brian. Well, let's see. Brian Thomas is right by Tank Dell. So if Zaire Alexander plays, right, he's going to shadow who? Whom?
Is he going to be healthy enough to shadow? Is the question.
Great point.
That's what I'm saying. Is he going to be healthy enough to guard a full 60 minutes of football? I don't think so. Like I said, seeing as how he was limited this week, I don't see him being that impactful on defense.
That's right. If you remember earlier, it was limited all 3 days.
I told you he tried to go hard Monday, Tuesday. Body couldn't take it. Now, boom.
Yeah. Who you got, Doc?
Right here. He got Gibbs at RB1. Oh, he winning with Gibbs. My bad. That's the Detroit bias. I'm sorry. I'm taking Dobbins at. He's not doing bad with Dobbins at 2. Gibbs at 1 is amazing, and I'm taking Tank Dell in my flex over Brian Thomas Jr. because I really like Tank Dell. I really do. I'm taking Tank Dell at the flex and J.K. Dobbins at RB2. Now, if you have a better option for an RB2, I would try to pick somebody else other than Dobbins because I don't know who else he has. But right now, if Dobbins is all you got, take Dobbins. He's going to get you points. But I feel like there's running backs out there that can get you more.
Yeah.
Right. That's, yeah. But if that's all you got, again, I think he said, was it a 12 team? Is that what he mentioned a little earlier?
12-team PPR.
Yeah, so that may be all he has.
Okay.
Understandably so, right? Because, again, we all forget that that's an additional minimum 20 quality players off the board.
Right.
And let's see here. We got all right. So I think we're content with that. And then we got Julian starting Cousins, Brees. Again, that's Brees Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Drake,
London,
DK, and either Tank or Wanda. Again, this Tank and Wanda, that is going to be flex appeal. I'm telling you.
I'm leaning towards Tank every time. That's CJ Stroud boy right there. He gonna keep targeting him.
Dude, and it's air yards. It is air yards for me. But again, I'm thinking of last season. That's my only concern is that it was a year ago. But what we saw, he went off. So the safe play, the certainty is what we know we've seen more these last 2 weeks from Wan'Dale Robinson. But if you want to go with the home run ball, then you have Tank.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we have Lucius is asking, would you go Tracy or Gibson half point PPR?
Tracy.
Yep.
Yeah. Half point PPR. Okay.
Like that actually played a part in it too, that it wasn't a full point. I don't think Gibson will get like maybe 4 catches. And so we're talking 2 points. no touchdown, no thank you.
Wow.
Chandler is asking, feel like Robinson is safer and still have close to the same upside Tank has. And that's it. Look, I can't really argue
denying that.
No.
But
Absolutely.
I still feel like Tank is going to produce more. Yeah, it's okay, and I agree that they're similar, but I don't.
It's all about when have we seen Tank struggle?
Never until he got
exactly. So that's why
Not ever.
That's why it seems as if while it seems almost predictable at this point, we haven't seen Tank struggle or be met with struggle or adversity in the sense of should I get more points by playing somebody else? So that's why we can default to Tank, and he's proven capable of delivering, especially in a fantasy realm.
When he's out there and he's healthy, he out there.
Yeah, exactly. Getting the job done.
Yeah, I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
Not just out there, not just filling up the required number of people on the field. He out there being productive in a major way.
Right. He's not the decoy. He's the person the decoy is getting open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with Tank Dell every time. Yeah. Man, I wish I could have grabbed Tank Dell in one of my leagues. He was gone.
I know. I went and looked. Dude, I was ready to put 70% of the budget on him.
Man, he was gone quick, bro. I don't know nobody that wanted to trade him either. I tried to trade him in one league. One dude wanted too much for him. So I'm like, yeah, that's all right. You keep him.
Right.
But I love the point that Chandler's making because it is the safe play. 100%. Completely agree. I'm glad we absolutely read my mind with that. It is safe. What I'm looking for, because we know it's Xavier Hutchinson at the slot. And because we got a taste of that last week. What I'm looking for, though, is the Patriots defense has been a little stingy. And what I wanted to try to really determine is, are they able to truly, or I'm sorry, Green Bay, though. Green Bay. That's the thing, right? I don't want to make too much out of it because of who they were playing last week. So, again, additional week of practice. We know what he's been able to do, but Wandale definitely should have a good game as well.
He should, but not better than Tank.
I love that. That statement is why I quit playing fantasy football.
You have a great game.
That to happen, needing things like that to happen. That's the reason why I kind of had to back away. Part of it.
I need you to do this well, but not better than him.
Yeah. Right. Needing my wideout to get 8 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown, but needing the defense he's playing against to allow just that touchdown and sack the quarterback 3 times. That sort of thing is why I say.
Don't forget about the interceptions and forced fumbles. Them get you points too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And so we will take our next break. In the meantime, of course, we are still broadcasting live across X, Facebook, and, of course, Twitch, YouTube. You name it, at the Shop Report, at What You Mean Gully, and we will see you shortly.
It's Kate Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report. I'm Hami Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report. My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report. You're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report. Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Edwards from Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shock Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching The Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching The Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching The Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to The Shop Report.
Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching The Shop Report.
What it do, sports fans? It's your man BSJ from The Shop Report. And guess what? The shop is now open for business, baby. If you're on Facebook, go to our fan page, The Shop Report, click on more, and then shop to view all products. Or if you're on Instagram, click on the shop tab to see all our products. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm selling merch here.
All right, just like that, we are back. Of course, yes, the merch is available. By all means, feel free to, as you saw, grab that on the Facebook and Instagram pages as well. And so, next segment here is booms or busts. And so, a couple guys that I have set to boom this week.
All right.
Potentially Jalen Tolbert. Again, I talked about the Lions. And
what you say next.
And so, again, he had the best game of his career last week. So a little bit of a recency bias. So again, 7 catches, 87 yards, and of course that game-winning touchdown. But the Lions are allowing an average of 19.5 receptions and 218 receiving yards per game to opposing wideouts. He's projected 7.1 points, folks. That is, look, I get it. They're going to, there's CD, there's Ferguson. Yes, there's some mouths to feed. But as we stated with Seattle, amongst others, that third option is absolutely going to be utilized. Anybody else see it similarly or differently?
Nah,
I'm spot on with you.
Yeah.
All right. And then additionally, Tucker Kraft. So you guys brought up the tight end position. We were going through some of those rankings a little earlier. Please feel free to continue to shoot any questions you have to us across the platforms regarding your start sits. And additionally, talking about those tight end rankings, again, Kittle 1, Brock Bowers 2, Trey McBride, of course, Doc's guy, is 3, Jake Ferguson 4, Laporta 5. I still think they're going to try to find him in the red zone, but that's kind of what that is contingent on. And then this next guy, who is now creeped up into the top 10 and nearly into the top 5, which is Tucker Kraft. Again, for those that were asking about folks like Romeo Doubs and kind of how they were planning on moving the ball, it'll certainly be interesting. But here's the thing. Luke Musgrave is on IR as of Thursday. Kraft had 82% of the snap share. The Cardinals defense just allowed George Kittle to have 8 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. If you got a guy on a bye, this absolutely can at least get you in maybe that 10-point threshold or more certainly. Or I would say, he's had at least 17 points in the last 2 weeks. And again, he's still available. I want to say across the board at about 20% of the leagues. But I think across Yahoo and some of the others, it was about only 60% ownership. So again, potentially a top 10 tight end for this week, still just lingering out there. Someone we talked about a little bit earlier is DeAndre Swift. Again, 3 points. He was, there were 3 weeks there that he was just dismal. He's now exploded in back-to-back games, and he's combined for about 19 and a half PPR points. Again, those were in those first 3 games, and now he's got back-to-back performances of over 20 plus in the last 2. So the Jags, again, 134 yards from scrimmage to opposing running backs, and they've allowed 5 opposing running backs to score at least 13 and a half PPR points. And so, guys, is there anything that you see there differently as it pertains to DeAndre Swift? Any hate from you, Doc, now that he is
No hate.
Yeah,
I feel
no
like
hate, huh?
DeAndre Swift is going to continue to go off as the season goes on and that chemistry builds in Chicago. I feel like he's going to get his reps and he's going to start, he's going to be a little bit better. I don't think he played much in the preseason, so it's going to take him a few games to knock the rust off and get back into, full, mid-season flow. So I feel like he's going to get better. He's not the wrong option if you're starting him this week.
Yeah.
I'd flex him though. He wouldn't be my number. He wouldn't be my RB1. He'd be my flex though.
He'll be your flex.
Yeah, I'd flex him for sure.
Okay, makes sense.
I'd flex him at least for another week or 2. Like, he got to do good this week, and then next week maybe I'll give him that number 1 spot. But until then, he's getting flexed for sure.
So, just for context, Gully, his projection for this week. Again, this game's in just a few short hours.
Right.
Is only a little over 11 and a half.
That's it
in a PPR format,
That's what I said,
which would put him
right
around the ETN, Brian Robinson. Again, some names that we've heard today, and James Cook, like
James Conner.
No, the Buffalo running back. That's out.
Oh, okay.
So to me, look, you can wake up if you're with us, and I know there are many folks are, and we absolutely appreciate that as well. You could wake up and, best part of waking up is having double digits in your, cup of, fantasy points.
Right.
And not on your bench. So again, enjoy the breakfast at that point and the early kickoff. But that's where I believe DeAndre Swift this morning. Now, turning it over to the bus. Oh, we got Jay Smells here. Start 2, Tracy, Deontay Johnson, and BTJ. That's Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay.
Tracy is one of them off bail.
Yeah, uncontested. And then it's really Deontay or Brian Thomas. Let's see. Because I had why do I want to play Deontay Johnson? Someone talk me off the ledge here with that. He had 2 good weeks against Cincinnati and Vegas.
Right.
He obviously, but the ankle. Oh, dude, the ankle. Crap.
Yeah.
I'll take BTJ.
You take BTJ?
Yeah. I'll take Brian Thompson. Why not? He's going to get you points. It might not be the points you want, but he's going to get you something.
The thing is, if Deontay Johnson didn't have an ankle injury, I would say Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, as soon as you said
That's
ankle, that's when I went BTJ because running backs with ankle issues are not good.
I'll give some clarity for this.
Unless
as
you're
well.
Adrian Peterson, but I don't think he had an ankle.
Adrian Peterson was bionic. Like he
Yeah,
was yeah.
Yeah, he's been limited in practice. So to Doc's point, limited in practice all week, and he played through it last week. But listen to this drop off, guys, against Cincinnati, which is not exactly a stellar defense. He went from 13 targets and 7 receptions to against Chicago, which again is much better defensively. And this is where there should be some caution. Is that, of course, who's going against Chicago's defense? When we were about to get right into the bus segment, and the bus segment happened to be Trevor Lawrence, because Chicago has a ton of interceptions, but Deontay went against them with the ankle. And which are we blaming here? Chicago's corners or Deontay's ankle? Because he went from 24 PPR points to 7.
His ankle.
Okay.
A running back with an ankle injury is not it, bro. You got to do too much cutting, juking, spinning, and moving on a bad ankle. It's not very productive. It's not. I'm not starting Johnson. He has ankle issues. I take Thomas Jr. And then he had another comment too. He asked for the Texans or Chargers defense. Then he said start Love or Stroud. Oh, he just popped it up. All right. Well, I'm putting the depends on who they playing first. Before I say anything, let me see who they playing, and I'll tell you my opinion on that one.
It was Stroud or who?
Love. I'm starting Stroud. Actually, let me check who they play first. I'm talking too much smack before I even check who play. Okay, so Love is playing the Cardinals, and
that's a great matchup, though.
Yeah, it is. And then you got the Texans playing the Patriots. I'm starting Stroud.
You're starting Stroud?
I ain't playing the Patriots, bro. The Patriots ain't got nothing over there. They 1-4.
Yeah, even at home though.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans over the Patriots.
Okay. Oh yeah. I think the Texans.
I'm putting in that Texans defense because the Patriots don't even have a quarterback, my boy. They got Drake May.
Problem is 37, dude. The over-under on that game is 37.5.
They got Drake May. Come on now. I'm taking the Texans defense, and I'm starting Stroud over Love.
But you don't have any concern that they're going to get ahead and stay so far ahead, right? No Ramondre Stevenson. And that's why a lot of folks have been asking about Gibson, but a lot of them have either been a half-point PPR or none at all.
New England ain't doing nothing.
I know, but that's part of the issue here is that because they don't do anything, unless Drake May does something, I don't know. Now we're betting on Drake May to perform.
Drake May ain't doing nothing. He throwing interceptions left and right, playboy.
Oh, that is my concern, is that Stroud's going to hand that ball off. And he may have a deep bomb here or there to Tank Dell.
But why wouldn't he pass it? The New England Patriots secondary is suspect. I'm taking Stroud in that case. I'm sorry, bro. I'm taking Stroud.
I know. And now remember, Doc also has a strong disdain for all things Green Bay.
This ain't even got nothing to do with Green Bay at this point. This is the better matchup. The better matchup would be C.J. Stroud versus a hurting, crippled New England Patriots over Jordan Love playing a halfway decent, pretty good Cardinals team. I think Stroud has more to work with in terms of scoring. I don't see Love getting off the way Stroud is gonna get off. Because one, the Cardinals defense ain't no Rudy Poops. They're not good. But they're good enough to stop but Love from going off. The Patriots, they literally have nobody. They don't even know who their quarterback gonna be. Drake May or Jacoby Brissett? Well, we all know they ain't gonna have no brother playing quarterback in New England, so it's probably gonna be Drake May. But at the end of the day, what is Drake May about to do? Nothing.
Right.
That defense is about to shut them down. And you said they running back and Stevenson is done for too. Like, come on, bro. That's the obvious choice right there. I'm going Texans everything on that one.
Got it.
Yeah, the Patriots are allowing 350 yards a game. Total, but pass defense, they are ranked 25th, and the Cardinals are, to your point, a little bit better at 212.
See what I'm saying? It's not much. It's not much, but it's enough to where Love is not gonna get the points that Stroud is gonna get.
Is CJ running a whole lot at all this year?
When he has to, yeah.
I want to see if he.
I don't see the Patriots making him have to use his legs that much though, because what is their defensive line gonna do?
Right.
What are they ranking in pressures? Because it ain't top 10 or even top 15.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, against the Rams, Love had just shy of 20 points. Against Minnesota, of course, he went off. But that's what we were talking about, right? Right around that 19, 20-point window. Stroud, again, weak team with Jacksonville, 27. With Buffalo, I would say at least better than Jacksonville. 22, nearly 23.
See that? And that's with a better team. Like, come on now. Stroud is clearly the right answer here.
He's still, that's the thing. It looks like the ceiling for Love is right around that 20. And that's basically where the floor for CJ.
See what I'm saying? You want a 27 at a high or a 27 at a flow? What you doing? What you doing, Double J?
I know. I do think it is a good matchup for Jordan Love. I don't really feel like he's going to lose a game out of those two. I mean, someone would have to just completely bleep the bed. It just or get injured. That's about the only way that occurs. All right, and then we have Givey. Sit one, ETN, Bucky, DJ Moore, or Terry. I'm not sitting Terry. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
I'm not sitting DJ either.
Bucky's getting all the carries.
Process of elimination.
Wait a minute. Who else is it? Who did Doc say?
So I said I'm not sitting DJ.
I don't think I'm sitting DJ either.
I'm not sitting DJ. Ain't nothing to think about with that one. I'm not.
Yeah, he's a must start against the Jags.
Yeah. You got to. He gonna get you points. I'm sitting Bucky.
What about ETN though? He said ETN.
He coming back from injury. He gonna get some points. I think he gonna get more than Bucky. He ain't gonna get a bunch, but he gonna get more than Bucky. I'll take a solid 15 or over a solid 10.
Well, anybody would, right?
You know what I'm saying? But that's probably what the difference is going to end up being, like a 15 to 11 or like a 17 to 12. It's going to be about a 5 to 6 point difference between them two.
You know what it is?
5 to 6 points could be the difference between losing your match and winning.
But here's what I want to point out, guys, right? Did he specify hey, Givey, is this a PPR league? I'm going to tell you guys why. My concern with ETN is this. That injury against the Colts, which we said had a better run defense, but still, he got 38% of the snap share. He had 6 attempts for 17 yards. Okay. But he had 7 targets for 6 catches for 43 yards. So again, you're talking about an additional 10 points. 10 of his 16 points in a PPR format came, of course, from the receiving side of things. So we know Chicago's defense is better, right? Yeah. That is the only concern I have, is based off of scoring format. We've heard, again, we've talked about quite a bit for this morning's game about the workload and the game script that Jacksonville's going to use between those two running backs, just that backfield as a whole with him and Tank Bigsby. So, do you guys see it any differently at all? Because, with that being said, and let's see if Givy did comment back.
I'm still sitting Bucky.
Givy said half-point PPR. All right, let's see. In Bucky's case, just to double check. I think I'm with you though, Gully, and Doc on this. Look, they scored how many points against Atlanta last week? Like 30?
Right.
And he had 12 and a half. I mean, underwhelming. Come on, dude. Very, very underwhelming. This New Orleans defense is no slouch. My only hope, and I don't like doing that. I don't like. I'm not. What is it? The hope, the horseshoes and hand grenades.
Hand grenades and horseshoes. Yeah, proximity. Right.
So he only had 9 carries. Listen to this. He's never had more than 10 carries in a game this season.
Whoa.
Who?
Bucky.
Oh yeah, I'm benching Bucky, bro.
Yeah, ETN, absolutely. I know he's supposed to get 21 points, but you better hope that Spencer Rattler isn't lighting it up and they got to start throwing the ball. And and the wheels are already falling off. The train is crashing. So no, I'm good. I'm with you guys on that. And then we have, let's see. Antonio is asking Polk, Dobbs, Wicks. You talked about Drake May.
Yeah.
I mean, his PPR projection is 11. That game
White
is hurt. 37.
I didn't know
points.
White was hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I was saying.
That changes things.
What do you mean it changes things?
He getting all the workload now. He ain't got nobody to share with.
Right, but my issue is he's been kind of ineffective, even with kind of Doc. He's been getting an increase weekly, essentially,
and his points still ain't went up.
Right, that's the issue I have, and that's why I was asking about even previously about the PPR. That's why ETN's the safer play. Even in a shared backfield, he was still averaging about 20 points. So no matter how the game script works between him and Bigsby, he may lose the goal line touches or something to that effect, but he will balance it out in receptions. In Bucky's case, he's had 2 targets receiving. He's averaging that 2 per week. Let's see. Half-point PPR. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get Antonio's here. Dobbs or Wicks, right? They're both playing now. And then as far as the Dunze goes.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah, I sure did. Absolutely. I'll get it up there. I'm not afraid of that.
Yeah.
I love that. All
right, man. But listen, I got to roll, man. I think you guys can bring this to the finish line.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Hey, we're going strong, baby.
Yeah.
We're going strong.
All right, man. Well, listen, we'll be back Monday.
Hey, did you want to jump into the AEW thing real quick? We'll get these 2, and then let's
go ahead. On it. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna go off for a moment, and then I'll be right back.
Yeah. We'll give it a second here. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll wrap that up.
I'm Jordan Gudeman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Eddie G's Cookies. I was first diagnosed with a nut allergy when I was young. At the time, there weren't a lot of labeled items that said if there may contain nuts or there are nuts in the food, so my brother and sister and I baked a lot at home. and we enjoyed treats from mixes and things like that, but I noticed that it was not the same as what my friends were enjoying, and I started making my own recipes. When it was time to pick a career, I decided to start a bakery so I could share my treats with everybody else. When I started creating my recipe, I was taking in all the things that I thought I was missing out on. A soft, chewy center, a crisp outside crust, and a taste that is just like it came out of the oven at a bakery. When I put all those things together, I had come up with a recipe for a dream cookie. Eddie G's Cookies only uses the finest ingredients. We have all natural flavorings, no preservatives, and every cookie is made in a nut-free environment. The best part about Eddie G's Cookies is that they can be delivered right to your door. You can share them or not. We won't tell.
SK Cunningham, you watching the Shop Report. I'm homie Diallo, watching the Shop.
I'm Christopher, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Oh, you're Jay Napier, you're watching the Shop Report.
Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin High, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Stadium, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report.
Cleaning the cracks on your pavement surfaces can take hours and be torturous on your body. Until now. Bicracky Weed Removal Tool was designed specifically to clean pavement cracks in a fraction of the time, all while standing up. Bicracky's patented design incorporates a two-sided steel blade and is encased by a durable fiberglass shell. Simply use the large end to clean big gaps, then rotate and use the small tip for narrow gaps. Made in the USA, Bicracky eliminates weeds to the root and is environmentally friendly. Bicracky, save your back while you clean your crack.
All right, just like that, we are back.
Colorado just took the lead.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Colorado just took the lead.
They how far was that interception?
Oh, he almost ran it back. It was like 60-something yards. He don't fall, that's a pick six.
So we got Antonio's back in this thing really quickly. So Adunze, of course, had 5 catches on 6 targets.
I'm not putting Adunze in. I got Adunze riding the pine right now because he don't score like that.
Right, that's
he's
the
not
issue.
Consistent enough. He had 1, maybe 2 good games. He only had 1 good game.
Right.
Pick him.
And then, but out of the Green, he's got such a kind of a log jam of Green Bay guys. And we know how much you hate those, Doc.
Yeah, anything cheese here, I can't relate to.
No, and Polk, on the other hand, it's too difficult with him to determine who Drake May's guy is going to be. Can he get him the ball? And so I like either Dobbs or we can only start 1. Holy smokes. All right, that just made it complicated. I thought we were going with 2.
Bro, it's just 1. That's why I said I don't know about this one. The Doomsday is most definitely out the question. I'm not. I wouldn't. Oof. I wouldn't start him if he was the last receiver on earth.
Oh, it's not that bad,
bro. He ain't did nothing. He got to.
I mean, you got 3 leagues for him to prove it, right?
my problem is this:
do more than just 1 game. I'm sorry, he has to do more than 1 game for me. If he can be consistent and score those type of points on like back-to-back games, then okay, I might consider him starting him that 3rd game. But he had 1 game, bro. Show me what I'm missing, Double J. He had 1 game. Why is he start worthy? I'll let you answer that one.
For Adunze?
Yeah, why is he start worthy? Maybe you seeing some I'm not. But he only had one good game, so why would I start him?
Well, again, if you're in a pinch like this, right? Potentially.
If I'm in a pinch, I'm going Wicks or Dobbs.
Right. Well, that's exactly because with Polk, he hasn't had Drake May throwing him the ball. So we don't know if he's going to get 3 or if he's going to turn those 6 targets into 6 receptions and something more.
We don't know
don't
what Drake May going to do
that.
at this point.
So going off of the additional rankings that we do have, I'm trying to see like air yards, if there's something there that I can look at and kind of see to take it a little bit of a step further with some of these guys. But I'm going through kind of my wide receiver rankings for the week as well. And let's see. I would probably lean Wicks. Somebody's going to catch the ball against Arizona. That's the thing.
Take a look at Givey.
Where it's at. I'm going Wicks. Yeah, Wicks.
Givey, half PPR. Thing is, White is hurt. Bucky's getting a full count. Yep.
Oh, no, no.
No, Givey said Wicks is the easy answer. Wicks is it. Gotta go John Wick.
There you go. Wicks is the easy answer. Yep.
John Wick.
Man, but you know what? We didn't make it easy to say the least.
No, we sure didn't. We deliberated on that thing.
Right. Well, you know what? Look, that's the thing. We appreciate all you guys being on here, and I want to make sure that I'm doing the due diligence to see why or why not collectively. Sure. And so, absolutely. But this should we should pin this.
Yeah, we did. Yes, Givey, we did.
Matter of fact, a shameless plug now. Of course, shout out to our sponsors, and of course, if you have a brand that you're interested in having on the program, of course, email the shopreport365@gmail.com. All hate mail. Attention, Barbershop J.
Oh man, Kansas State just scored again.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's a flag on the play, so it might come back. It's a good game.
Dude, this has gotten electric in like the last minute and a half.
This is a good game. They are going back and forth. Well, he got CeeDee Lamb, Josh Allen.
Whoa.
I wouldn't worry too much.
With these early picks, right?
The Bills play the Jets. I wouldn't worry about it. I kind of would. They got a good defense, but that defense is going to get tired because that offense ain't going to score nothing. So he should be all right with Josh Allen. CeeDee Lamb.
Did that play come back?
No, I didn't. It was on the defense.
Oh.
So now the score is 31-28. All Colorado got to do is get in the field goal range.
Yep. But they're going to go for it.
We can go to overtime.
Yeah, but you know how they feel. Nah, they're going to try to win this joint.
I hope not. They better do like we just saw LSU and them. Better play for overtime and then win in overtime.
You play to win the game, okay? Remember Herm Edwards?
No, Herm Edwards was on a podcast early or middle of last week.
Hey,
and
tell
man, he was lighting somebody up, bro.
Oh yeah.
Tell Givey he winning with CeeDee Lamb because the Lions about to let him go off.
Who's the number one corner over there now?
Carlton Davis.
You don't think he'll lock him up?
Heck no. CeeDee still going CeeDee. CeeDee's a great. I'm not saying Carlton Davis is a horrible cornerback, but he's not finna shut down CeeDee. Like CeeDee might not get you that 20, 30 points you looking for, but he gonna get you about 21, 22.
Yeah, honestly, CeeDee's the number one wide receiver in my rankings.
CeeDee gonna get you them points, and he playing the Lions, and the Lions are known for letting receivers go off. Look at Justin Jefferson; he had 100-some yards on those legs.
What did he say to What did he say to Dak? Wasn't the CD though? What did he say to Dak last week?
I don't even know.
Something like in the game, Dak was froze. Chris Collins. I guess the reel is out there. The snippet that made it a reel and it made it viral. I don't know what he said.
Jump balls 4.
Oh, he said jump
after the
balls.
interception. Yep.
Oh, he's saying he didn't had to have 4 jump balls. Or not 4. I got you. Okay.
Dak is not it at quarterback.
Nobody's ever it. Troy Aikman is not coming through that door anytime soon.
They'd be better off with Tony Romo.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude. We're doing that.
Yep.
Get Tony Romo in there.
Oh, look at this. So I had the first pick. I took CD and I had back-to-back to Josh and ETN. Oh. Yeah, but that's the thing, Givey, that you could have. I mean, taking CD over CMC would. Hey, look,
I mean,
you can exhale. Everything else you can recover from.
Right.
Because if you got to take a CMC, you would have wasted a pick.
Oof. Love and Swift. Okay, so from an outlook standpoint.
No.
But here's the thing, you guys. What is this the last 2 weeks and potentially, including today? So we'll say 3. Is that who DeAndre Swift is going to be? Or is that just merely his ceiling and he took advantage of bad matchups? Or, because to Hunt's point here, we talk about the first 3 weeks, right? They've been polar opposites of one another. There was a point in time Roschon Johnson's name was in the mix.
Right.
And I think, who was the other guy? The one other little Gully said it on a different show. I was like, wow, I was kind of impressed you remembered who the other running back was. But, there were just names like that were coming kind of out of the woodwork that were going to start eating into, sharing and splitting time and that type of thing. So if we look at the outlook of the rest of the season, but our problem with ETN is if Tank Bigsby does not go away, which none of us seem to believe he's going to.
Nah, he ain't going nowhere. They'd be a fool to let him go somewhere.
But, Doc, you yourself are not the biggest Jordan Love and don't you have Josh Allen yourself?
No. No, I thought about getting Josh Allen, but he's not it for me.
Well, Gibby does. That's right. Gibby has him.
Yeah, Gibby got him. I don't know. Gibby just asked if he should trade away Love and Swift for ETN and Allen.
No, Hunt is asking.
No, Hunt's asking that.
Oh, my bad. I'm reading the wrong comments. I'm sorry.
Let's see.
Yeah, Gibby got Josh Allen. He said he took Josh Allen and ETN.
So he's the number 7 quarterback right now. Or no, whoa, yeah, number 7, but 14 overall. All right, listen to these matchups, okay? Arizona, Miami. So he tears Arizona up. Not a surprise. Miami struggles, destroys a terrible Jacksonville team. Actually kind of struggled against Baltimore. But that's because I think Shakir was gone. Like, if any team really needs Devontae Adams, not named the New York Jets, it's the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like, this is a critical week for Keon Coleman, because if you're going to be the off-the-helmet guy, or are you going to be the answer?
He's not going to be the answer. Jones ain't going to have enough time to sit there and throw the ball. He's going to have to adjust to whatever crazy throw he puts out there, and I just don't see him adjusting with it. Especially with the way he catch. Like, come on, man. Keon Coleman needs a little work.
Yeah.
Not a lot of work, just a little bit.
Jordan Love has, of course, Jacksonville, the Lions, Chicago, San Francisco, Miami, the Lions, Seattle, New Orleans, Minnesota, and Chicago. I would actually argue that Josh Allen has the easier remaining schedule, and neither team, like he's got, listen to this, week 11 is Kansas City at home, then a bye, and then San Francisco. Like these are brutal. And, well, you know,
Yeah, that's a gauntlet right there.
I feel like you're basically that, like the trade will almost cancel out in a way. They're both. I would probably say wow. All right, so here's where I'm torn. Is Swift going to keep going? I need you guys to answer that part of it.
He played in Detroit. He's injury prone. He probably won't keep going. But right now he looks good, so you might want to ride the train while you can.
You may want to just try to move Swift for somebody else then. If you're instead of, or try, you know, if you're going to flip-flop Love with Allen, because Love is getting about 20 a game, so he's actually done better than Josh Allen in multiple games.
He still ain't the answer.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, I would probably try to move those individually or package them for something that's a little bit more favorable. You don't want, you know, again, if you're on the wrong side of ETN, or if that injury ends up being worse, and I think that's what somebody's trying to do is move them. And then Givey is saying Caleb loves throwing since he's a rookie. Swift is really risky. I'm taking that trade because ETN wants to prove why he's the number one, and Josh Allen's Josh Allen. Again, valid points. I also was offered
JT for Bijan.
I wouldn't get rid of Kyron. I don't know what to make of the Jets offense now that they. So again, reminder everyone, that meeting that led to the head coach being fired was supposed to be about the offensive coordinator being let go.
Oh,
and that's how it got really heated, because somehow it switched in the midst of it. Oh, he has to drop one.
I'm dropping Charbonnet.
Yeah, 100%.
As long as Kenneth Walker out there and healthy, Charbonnet not finna get. I got Charbonnet on the bench. He only got 4.5 points last week.
Yeah, all the others have at least carved out some kind of consistent role that allows them to gain points week to week without it being catastrophic injury.
Get rid of them.
And unfortunately in this case, out of all of those guys, Kenneth Walker is kind of fits that bell cow criteria of high carry rate.
Kenneth Walker is your short yardage back, your long yardage back. Like Kenneth Walker is everything.
Oh, okay, Gibby.
Kenneth Walker is your everything.
Exactly. Yeah, completely echo Gibby's point here is that, you know, somebody like Breece Hall was incredible.
Yeah.
And it's really the struggles of the team. If they're able to right the ship, and that's what is a Devontae Adams trade to either location in New York, not the Giants. Is that the answer? Does that fix it? And I think they were asking for a second round pick. Like, why is he still there?
Mm-hmm.
But let's see on Bijan. Ooh, Hammy. Oh, moon's over my hammy. Oh,
you said moon's over my hammy like it's Denny's.
What's up, Denny's?
Yeah. We got to holler at them, right?
Fully cleared. He had 12 against Tampa as far as attempts. 3 in a PPR format. I mean, it wasn't a terrible game by any means. And again, he's got a great stretch. Look at this. At Carolina, Seattle, at Tampa. Again, Tampa is literally who he had 12 against. He is 1 touchdown away in all of these games from making a pretty, like a quantum leap.
Okay.
Then you get some tougher matchups: Dallas, New Orleans, Denver. The Chargers have been unkind to many. But then you round it out at the end of the year, right at the right time, right? Right when it's playoff time. Vegas, the Giants, Washington, Carolina. Like that would be who you want. Like this is somebody that could win you a league if you can get him for the right price. And that is a very, very, I like Gibby's kind of thought process here. But the problem or the question becomes who. I think you can get him. It's just what are you willing to part ways with? Oh, we got a few things here, of course. Still stuck on Bucky. So stuck on Bucky and ETN. Man, this sucks.
Starting ETN.
Yeah, that was the thing, right? Like what we pointed out is Bucky's inability, and this wasn't limited to Bucky. It was also Rachaad White's issue. They weren't getting great yards per carry. That wasn't ETN's issue. ETN's issue was Tank Bigsby. So as long as like Bucky's ceiling is where ETN has been pretty much all season.
Okay.
That's why I felt like it would be the potentially a safer play, unless, of course, if Jacksonville stinks it up, right? I was getting to the bus. The first one on the top of the list was Trevor Lawrence because of the secondary for the Bears that have been able to have as many interceptions as they've had this season. And what that could do to ETN, again, in the right format, makes him, where he becomes a PPR machine, but that's the more likely scenario out of the two. And Bucky, on the other hand, I don't see it with the yards per carry. That's all. All right. So Hunt is saying my team is so far quarterback Love and Darnold, Cook, JT, Kyron, Swift. Oh, he's got stud receivers, dude. Holy smokes. How did you get Kittle and Kelsey?
Whoever league you in do not know how to pick because there's no way you got Kittle and Kelsey.
Yeah, like how did you pull that off?
He in a league with people that don't know what they're doing.
Right. Somebody drafted a kicker in the second round, I bet.
But here's the thing. He clearly wants the running back depth. But I feel like he could easily grab someone like Tyrone Tracy and just kind of like have that stashed.
Yeah.
Because Bijan and Brees, who would you guys get rid of in for that? I like what he's thinking, though, because I would feel more comfortable with Josh Allen than Jordan Love.
Okay.
I told you.
But
oh, my God. Easton is a beast. My bad. The Boise and Hawaii game on. Ashton Jonte just scored a touchdown. Boy's a beast.
Gibby says you're in a 2-man, bro. AJ. And that's the thing. Like he right. That lineup was ridiculous. It was fire. He absolutely could afford to live like without one of those receivers. Like you're set for bye weeks. It is a spoil of riches. Hunt, what is your record in that league? One quarterback, no PPR. Okay. So that hurts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Who would I trade away? Because the teams that have Bijan and Brees need a wide receiver. And that's the thing. I hate to say it. I think you can get a better running back than them. Because look, again, going back
I'll
to
get rid of Breeze before I got rid of Bijan, though.
No. See, he's got.
Did he say he got both of them?
Would you trade Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know if that's a good enough haul. And if Tua comes back, man, that's the
Tua
thing.
don't need to come back.
Yeah, if he does,
and he gonna not do nothing.
Right? Yeah. See, if he does that, I think that's gonna be called. Well, I don't know if it'll become a major distraction unless he get, unless he gets injured again,
which he will.
Yeah.
He's injury prone. He's gonna get hurt. It might not be a concussion, but he's gonna get hurt.
I would say, to me, Cooper Kupp, because it felt like between him and Puka that one of them, similarly to like how AJ Brown was always having the better game than Devontae Smith, with the exception of like maybe once a month. That's kind of how it was between Kupp and Puka, but Kupp, it seemed like this year was flipping back to Kupp being quote unquote healthy, and he was getting the lion's share of those targets. So to me, it's Tyreek Hill is kind of the odd man out. As crazy as that sounds,
I'd let him go because right now he's not producing it until Tua comes back. What do you need Tyreek for? He's just taking up space. He is. That's a wasted roster.
He's 3-2.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure you guys are happy with 15 points out of your receiver in Tyreek Hill when he's used to getting 20 and 30. So, okay, I'll take that 15 points when there's somebody out there that you could probably trade him for to get you more than that. Because people are going to be, like you said, Double J, waiting on Tua to come back, thinking, oh, now they got the Tua and Tyreek connection again. But it's going to be different because Tua ain't going to be the same Tua when he comes back. I don't think that Tua and Tyreek connection happens. I don't think Tua has all day in the pocket to even find a Tyreek Hill down the field. I don't see it happening. I don't see Tyreek going off this year in fantasy.
Well, I hope you're wrong, and a lot of fantasy owners are hoping you wrong too. But I tell you what,
they hope I'm wrong, but that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. He coming back from his fourth freaking concussion in 5 years. I don't think he's going to produce like that when he first comes back.
He had him, yeah.
He had one in Alabama, and he had one every freaking year just about since he's been in the league. I don't see him coming back being the same player. I honestly think he's going to play a little scared because he don't want to have another concussion. I don't think he's going to be the same Tua when he comes back. So, like I said, with him having Tyreek, that's just a wasted space. Like, Tyreek going to get you points, but not the points he was getting because Tua's not going to come back with that same confidence he had before he had that concussion.
So what do you do if you're Miami? Not necessarily. Do you go and trade for a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers?
No, not Aaron Rodgers, but I trade for a quarterback.
I'll trade for Deshaun Watson.
No, give me Michael Penix. Give me Michael Penix in Miami.
But what do you give up for that? Can Atlanta win based off of that?
Oh, if I'm Miami, I'm giving up. I'd give up. You might hate me for this, but I would give up Waddle and another player for Michael Penix.
Well, not Tyreek Hill though.
No, I'm not giving up Tyreek Hill because if you got Michael Penix who has an absolute cannon who can hit Tyreek Hill down the field, I would give up a Waddle and maybe a draft pick or something for Michael Penix, but not much more than that.
Boy, hey, Gully, based on what you had said earlier, I on a previous show about kind of the selection of Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Similar, what I find interesting about it is we talk a lot with Cleveland in how Deshaun Watson kind of orchestrated making sure that there wasn't anyone, kind of breathing down his neck to be able to truly compete for the starting job.
Right.
Even though Kirk Cousins started to struggle initially, do you feel like even though he solidified his placement, if you're Atlanta, do you feel more comfortable now about making a move like that, knowing it's to the other conference, right? Would you be willing to do it and then feeling like you could cash in a way that would give you kind of a haul of draft picks and make your team better?
Yeah, certainly. I would almost encourage it because it in fact does do that. Your team is stronger. Plus, one of those draft picks, because you can get a slew. You can get a few picks. You should get a few picks for that. Could become your next franchise quarterback if, in fact, Kirk Cousins, his decline becomes rapid and sudden in the years that you're remaining. So you can still you can build yourself into it. You can shore up any deficiencies you have, and you can build yourself into a surefire contender now.
Cousins is gonna have a decline. He always does. It never fails.
Well, that could be to Gully's point. The whole reason why you want to get rid of him then, because you don't want those chants.
Kurt Cochains, but they didn't pay him all that money. Atlanta's not the brightest organization out there, so they paid him all that money. They ain't finna get rid of him. They better off getting rid of Penix and getting some money off of. They getting some. They will get better. I don't know what this. I think that the value for Penix is pretty high right now. So if they get rid of Penix, I think they'll get what they're looking for. They get a couple draft picks, maybe a veteran player. They can get them another quarterback out the draft next year. Why not? We got Cousins here for the next 4 years. We got time to play around with rookie quarterbacks. We get rid of Penix so he don't waste his first year here, his first career or whatever. Let me get somebody else out the draft.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely valid points from both. My fear with Penix, if I'm holding him, is if I let him go out there for a preseason game and he looks like Trey Lance.
Yeah, yep. The ambiguity is a perfect opportunity to hide him, to trade him now.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. And again, if it doesn't work out, then it would spell disaster certainly for Miami. Right. But I do, before I move on from that comment from Givey, I wanted to salute Givey on that because you're absolutely right. You did prepare for the future. Those were all fantastic pickups, especially given the fact that you're 4-1.
Hey, I guarantee you he got him out the waiver wire.
4-1 half-point PPR. How's his team? See, so again, he's got Josh Allen. Hunt's trying to get Josh Allen. CD, Terry has, I'm telling you now, it's been so refreshing, I'm sure, to actually be great. Getting Xavier, Shakir late. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yo,
you're loaded.
We should do a segment just all fantasy. Everybody bring their teams together.
This is it.
Oh, this is it? Okay, I'm like, dog, I like this fantasy talk. We should do this more often.
Love for
Givey, I am alive. I got a low eyes. Bring it up. No, bring it up. He brought it up.
He been over there with that devil's lettuce. That's why his eyes is low.
Yeah.
That's what people say, man. I don't even indulge. I don't. I just got a low eye.
This week, PPR, McBride, Pittman, Tolbert, or Shaheed. So I love Rashid Shaheed. However, I'm very nervous because of who his quarterback is. Same as we've talked about with Pittman. If it is Flacco, play him.
Yes.
Start him. If it is not, sit him.
I don't think Richardson's coming back yet.
But he didn't. Turkey, how many do you need out of that group? Is it just start one? So let's see. No tight end is needed in my league. That's fantastic. That's fantastic if you can get away with it. I know I'm not them, but I'd go Pittman.
Never
played
played
tight
a
end.
tight end in flex.
Hey, depending on who you
Backup
got, bro,
quarterback.
I'll throw me a tight end in flex. It just depends on the tight end.
Yeah.
Now, Tolbert is in my boom list just because of what Jackson Smith and Jigba did to the Lions, but a lot of that came late, and it should have been even bigger. But Geno didn't want to throw to him in those final 2 drives, and then he threw that interception. So thanks for making me relive that. Maybe Chubb might be a good pickup. Oh my gosh, Hunt. Absolutely. He's coming back next week. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would grab him now.
Yeah, grab him now.
Grab him
like
now,
today.
Anybody else catch him.
Yeah, because we don't know what he's going to be like, right? And everyone's going to regret having him sit there. Yeah, Hunt, grab him now, give it a try.
McBride is kind of an easy game. So, to his point, Pittman is the yes if it's Flacco.
It's going to be
100%
Flacco.
in that order. McBride is good, but unfortunately, that's only good in the context of tight ends, not in a PPR format against wide receivers, especially some of these wide receiver 1s and 2s like we've been, especially even just limited to the group that he's showing. Is the dude on the bottom alive?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Oh wait, Richardson is questionable. They haven't said if you're gonna play or not.
Oh, okay.
They said he could be ready.
If he goes off today, they're playing Tampa. Dude, he could
be.
And
they say he's expected to suit up.
Who?
Richardson.
Then I would.
He's expected to suit up.
I would say
if he suits up, I'm sitting Pittman for sure.
Yeah, I'm good on him.
I'm still keeping Pierce in there because Flacco and Richardson both love Pierce. So if you got Alec Pierce, I put him out there.
Well, Pierce was the Richardson guy.
Yeah, but Flacco also used him too, just as much as he did Pittman. That's what I said. I'm starting Pierce no matter what.
Just got one. I got Debo and Mooney. Am I missing something on there for wide receiver? Okay. Just one. I see.
I'm taking Debo. If you only got one, I'm taking Debo over Mooney. Debo does more. He gonna run the ball. He gonna catch. It don't matter. Debo doing everything. You gonna get all the points you can get out of Debo. Mooney, he's one dimensional.
Yeah, Debo top 10 this week for me.
Yeah, he ain't number 10.
Hunt's in a 2-man, but CMC probably on the waivers in his league too.
Nope.
Just dropped the Jets defense for Chubb. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jets defense is okay. I only play the Jets defense if they're playing somebody like Denver, a team that's not that great offensively.
Man, Gibby's that you're in a very fortunate spot. Hunt, I would even argue Hunt's in a fantastic spot. You guys have spoiled riches. Only here I was thinking that Doc of all people, the waiver king, was really kind of the lead at all of this, and here we go right to the comments, and those guys are just taking a look at you might as well start counting your money now. My defense got there's a lot of time. Again, I string defenses if the league has them at all. We changed the league that I'm in. We changed the points for kickers to be just like running backs, or wide receivers 0.1 yard per yard, and then the 2 or 3 points for based on the distance.
Yo, Double J, I need to be in your league next year.
Yeah, and apparently, despite that, I still can't pick the right kicker. So there's that.
Yeah, let me in y'all league next year. I'm gonna show you how to waiver king get down.
You guys think of the 49ers defense? So this week, San Francisco's
what are the waiver rules for your league?
Huh?
What are the waiver rules for your league?
$200 per season, and again, usually you got to make it work. So no order, just sold to the highest bidder.
Wow. Okay. Is that
Doc,
similar to the
got?
leagues you currently playing in, Doc?
So is it good enough for the playoff? I say yes, they're top 10 defense this week. If you can, the Chargers will be an interesting one. I mean, I think they're both really good. But overall, I don't know if I would make any change there unless I had to. I'm a Seattle fan. So I love it. Hey, look, you would think I was being, I have Walker, JSN.
Right.
I have Geno in multiple leagues.
Right.
So
you don't think you are one. Maybe you got to look in the mirror.
There was once upon a time I used to call them the real dirty birds, but
Everybody loved them. I wish I would know more.
Hunt, you got to walk me through why you want to get rid of them for Bijan. For the future, might be the winning trade. I don't think he's wrong. But Kyren Williams to me has been, there we go. Got him back.
Yeah, my phone.
Uh-oh. Oh, you cutting out.
I don't know
you
what
cutting
happened.
out again. There you go.
Can you hear me now? I'm like, dog, what the? My phone froze and everything cut out. And I could see y'all lips moving, but I couldn't hear nothing.
Oh.
So take a look at that, Doc. Hunt is saying JT and Kyren for Brees and Bijan for the future might be the winning trade. We know he has the rest. He has all the pieces around it.
I'm not getting rid of Bijan. Breeze maybe, but not Bijan.
This Bucky and ETN, because I was sold on Bucky.
I'm taking ETN.
My psychoanalysis of this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
psychoanalysis.
taking ETN,
You're right.
dog. I'm taking ETN.
That's what he did. Obsession.
So this week, as an example, in my running back rankings, I have the two guys that Hunt's after, which is Bijan and Brees as 4 and 5. And let's see, he's getting rid of.
He's getting rid of KJ and no, he's getting rid of Bijan. I forgot what the person was. Bijan and Breeze. I'm not getting rid of Bijan and Breeze. I mean, maybe Breeze, but not Bijan. Bijan is another one of those versatile backs. He can run, he can catch. Like he's used for everything on that Falcons offense. So I would not get rid of Bijan. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting rid of Bijan.
Let's see. So what do you guys, if it's anybody else giving it any more thought now that we've absolutely confused Givy on this? Anyone, he was sold on Bucky. Do we want him to? I'm worried about the rush defense of Chicago now. Now I'm even worried about that. I just game scripted my own self out of that. Where I think I'm with you, Givy. I have now terrified myself of ETN either just not getting the necessary carries, or they are now in a pass only, and somehow that feeds Tank Bigsby, and then you end up staring at a 5 versus a 14 and you lose. Would you try Najee and Shaheed and McBride? So with no tight end needed,
right?
I would be okay with getting rid of McBride, just off that
because
premise.
you don't need no tight ends, yeah.
Right? But
not Najee and Shaheed.
Well, the thing is with Najee right now could be a sell high with Jaylen Warren out.
Yeah, but it might bite you in the butt later on down the line. That's one of those where it might turn around and get bad for you, and you got to face somebody with Najee, and Najee go off.
And those first two will get you in there, at least in the money rounds.
Yeah.
The thing is, to your point, Givey, I actually do have Bucky higher.
Okay.
Right. If no tight end is needed, they ain't taking McBride. They can look at that trade like, nah, son.
Yeah, but again, all right. So if we were looking at McBride's stats, well, we would need to figure out this ETN thing.
I'm telling you, start ETN.
What?
I'm just as confused as y'all. My answer done changed up like 5-6 times.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. Hey. Like one minute I'm like ET, and the next minute I'm like, well, maybe Bucky.
Go ahead, take a piece of paper, write their names 4 times each, rip up the piece of paper, throw it in.
So technically, the better matchup is it does favor ETN, but the overall from like outside opinions is actually with Bucky.
I mean, you need more than just one game here. So if you trading somebody, then would Bigsby be in it?
Hey yo, I bring up Gibby's latest comment.
Would Bigsby be in Jacksonville? I don't know, man. Maybe iffy for
ETN. Yo, you putting us on the hook for your fantasy league. I don't know if I'm.
I love it.
Hey, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take the blame for it. Go ahead and put Bucky out there.
All right, you heard it here. The shop report.
Put Bucky out there.
No. Don't say the shop report, Doc.
Take Doc's report.
Well, you know he gonna come back to us. He gonna fire us because we know Doc. So if he got it wrong, you better show up next week.
Listen to your boy Doc. I'll show up next week. Listen to your boy Doc. Go ahead and go with Bucky. Because I'm thinking with Bigsby being in there, yeah, ET ain't gonna get you some points. But Bigsby gonna score all the touchdowns. Like you want them points.
I see.
And ETN ain't gonna get them. Bucky has more of a chance of getting those touchdowns than ETN does because of a Bigsby. If it wasn't for a Bigsby, I'd say ETN all day. But since there's a Bigsby, go ahead and put Bucky out there. You want to win, put Bucky in. That's what I'm going with. You want to win, put Bucky
in. There it is.
All right, fam. I got you. If you lose, it's on me. I got you, my boy. I got
you. See, I told you.
Yeah.
Hey, I take that. Hey, I take that rap because you know what? I'm gonna put Bucky in too. You know what? Forget it. We both in a row with Bucky. Let's get it.
Well, you know what? I should probably put him in too then.
Hey, let's all roll with Bucky. Let's just all go Bucky.
Ride or die.
Keep it a buck, right?
Let's keep it a buck.
Look at that. There it is.
We keeping it a buck this week. We going
all the stuff we just said, all the back and forth, and listen how we settled on.
Because we didn't take into consideration that Bigsby is still there, still gonna get those touches. I just had to think about it. I think Bigsby is going to be a reason that Travis Etienne doesn't get the points he's supposed to get because they have a Bigsby now. They got muscle behind the speed. If the speed can't get it done, you best believe the muscle and tank is going to get it done.
Yeah, right.
So,
right. I'm subbing and I'm coming back. I love it.
I'm coming back. All right, give it.
Well, for the depth, some teams have good starters and bad backups. He's trying to trade his own 5. He has 3 IR players, Najee and Shaheed for Bijan. But then he also asked, wow.
But do you need a tight end? Like, who's your backup tight end if you get rid of McBride?
Right, because that's not Givey's league, right? Or wait, it wasn't. Hunt is in the league that doesn't have a tight end.
Oh, well.
Oh, no. Kirk, yep, his is no tight end. All right. That's weird that he asked for it then.
Because maybe he wants them points from a tight end. Tight end's going to get him points.
That's
maybe
true.
He got all the starters everywhere else that he needs, and he really wants a tight end. Maybe he can't get nobody else who's going to get him points, so he has to turn to a tight end.
On the tight end
Ferguson.
So the tight end list right now has Ferguson at 4. They've gone off against the Lions, and the Lions secondary. They're not. Doc, will you kind of walk us through that? Your opinion on what you've observed with the Lions secondary, because they're not bad. The kid keeps getting flagged. I know that.
But that's because he used to playing in college where you can get away with being handsy. He's targeted now. The refs are looking for you to get handsy. They waiting to throw a flag on you. And it's like they're not necessarily bad holding calls because they just like little snatching grabs of the jersey. But at the end of the day, it's still a penalty.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to hurt him. That's what hurt us last game, but luckily we won. But if you're going with anybody that's a receiver against the Lions, start them. Don't even second guess it, bro. Our secondary is a little better, but it ain't gonna stop receivers that are strong receivers from scoring points. Like I said, look at Justin Jefferson, look at CD Lambs, even look at DK Metcalfs. Like they're gonna go off. They're gonna go off. Cup on the bench because he on IR. You got Hill, but Hill don't have no quarterback. Well, you don't need a tight end. I'd get rid of that tight end, T. I get rid of them people you said for my man that got them. That's 0-5 with the people on the bench. That's only gonna set you up for the long run.
Yeah, give me that's your tight end is Ferguson.
You better get you another tight end.
I traded Baker, CD, and Ayuk
for
what?
Season
bro,
for Hunt, man, you.
It
tripping.
feels like a win
Ayuk and CD.
Since they will bench Watson.
Hunt.
That ain't no win,
you need
bro.
to subscribe and start consulting before these trades.
Yeah, that ain't
I don't
you got
know.
Rid of Baker,
I have not seen Gully. Have you seen one
Ayuk?
Cleveland article that said they're going to sit him? Nope. I've seen everyone saying they're going to, or that they want him to be sat. But
no, they're not going to sit. I haven't seen anything that suggests it's pending. And here's the controversial part about it. He hasn't actually played bad enough to get benched. If we look at the game, maybe it's because Stefanski is saying all the right things, so it's not to increase the pressure. But they haven't said that they're going to bench him. They haven't blamed him exclusively for the bad quarterback play. So,
man, I don't know, dog.
All the struggles and the chaos are on it. Of all that, they're still kind of committed to him. He hasn't shown that he needs to be benched, in my opinion.
That's the problem. And you get Chubb back, like you just pointed out, Cully, that it may change the offense. Stefanski could be the one saying, like, well, I can't establish the run for a host of reasons, and that's why we can't pass the way that we'd like to as well. And so I don't think this is a rust issue anymore. We talk about this is something I told Barbershop Jay throughout the week, which is, have we really sat and broken down what defenses are throwing at Cleveland? And
they blitzing the heck out of Cleveland. They can't do nothing with that blitz.
That's my point. Why can you get away with that? Night. You can get away with it when you don't have a running back that's going to get to the second level. Right. You don't have a tight end because Njoku's hurt, right?
Yeah, and then you don't. Then you got a line that have a line that doesn't have continuity.
So I get it that unfortunately the remaining schedule is not that favorable, but
you being nice.
Yes.
Yo, all I keep seeing is this comment, and Hunt is hurting with that trade.
I know. Hunt, in the future, please. We're here for a reason. And
Gibby said next week he hurting. You better. I'm finna tell you something right now, Gibby. This is what I did with this week when all my players is in IR. Like tomorrow, while the game is playing, live in the waiver wire because people are gonna be dropping and adding people all week. Live in that waiver wire, dog. Write you down a list. You know how they say, like interested in, and they got like some little tab where you can click on a player for if you want to trade or do that to everybody you interested in. So that way, when the football games are over, come Tuesday, when everybody's available for you to trade and go back to that waiver wire and claim all them people off waiver wire.
Yeah.
Like, get your trades together. Like you have to start on that during Sunday's games. Like I'd have started today, honestly.
Right.
Especially when your bye week is coming up, you got to get started at least a week in advance. Got to.
Oh yeah.
Hit that waiver wire. And then you never know. You might get lucky and get somebody out the waiver wire that was a sleeper and end up trading them for somebody that's a better value. I've done that before.
Hey, Gibby, is the Packers tight end there? Is Kraft available? Or did anyone drop someone like Evan Ingram because he's been hurt for as long as he has? Or how about Tyler Conklin? Or Cade Otton would be another one from Tampa. He's been pretty consistent the last few weeks. Those are all a handful of names that naturally stick out.
He gonna do Bijan for JT. That's why he making that trade. I guess it's not a total loss then.
Bijan managers did say that he would do it for JT.
It's not a total loss.
What do you think, Doc? Do you
The trade is risky, but it's not a total loss. You just better pray the people you trade for go off with the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that's gonna make it worth it. Like right now, it's not a total loss. I wouldn't necessarily make that trade, but it depends on your needs. Your needs might not be my needs.
So that's the only issue that I have with that deal is that you're kind of selling JT low, and you're hoping that that Bijan essentially hits the numbers that JT can and has.
But
regardless of really who was at quarterback, he was actually playing better with Flacco.
Yeah, it's risky, man. We're gonna see.
Dang.
We're gonna see.
Thomas is asking Keenan Allen, Lad Sutton. Yep. Oh, hey, Givey, look at that. Do I start Bucky?
Hey, put Bucky in the flex.
Hey, dude, we're all starting Bucky at this point.
Put Bucky in the flex.
If we will all die as one, or we will celebrate. Ideally, celebrate. I'm going to throw that into existence instead.
We celebrating. Bucky about to go off. We going Bucky.
Yeah, because Taylor's out for me. Ramondre Stevenson's out for me. I don't have a choice. I got Bucky and Tyrone Tracy.
Gibby want to know who we should drop for a tight end. Worthy, Chase, Brown, Shakir, Bucky, or Tank.
Yeah, let me get this first one here. Do you see Doc on there? Who do you got? I thought Keenan Allen was he not out?
No.
Well, that would also, he's ready to rebound against the Jags, and that's a good matchup for him. But so was Carolina, and he disappointed.
I don't know about Sutton, though. Sutton, I wouldn't worry about him. I'd put Keenan Allen at that last receiver spot.
Yeah, my problem with Sutton is he's just hard to trust.
Who, Allen?
No, Cortland Sutton.
Oh, yeah, that's why I said I wouldn't worry about Cortland Sutton. He's too wishy-washy. He's too wishy-washy.
And against the Chargers, no way. Nope. I don't want nothing to do. Not against the Jim Harbaugh defense. And that's not because of Jim Harbaugh. It's just how well that defense in particular has actually done against the position.
Yeah.
And then as far as Bucky goes, we're being serious. All of us are putting him in order to not just, because we made Givey overthink it.
Start Bucky, bro. Don't overthink it. Keep it simple.
Yeah, we sure did.
Where we going, Buck? We going Young Buck. Now, if ETN ends up proving itself, then all right, we feel safer starting ETN. But he's coming back from injury. Didn't really practice a lot this week. You got Tank Bigsby who can take a majority of workload. Like I said, his touches have went up 35%. And that's not no small number. That's 35% increase in touches. With him sharing the backfield with that many touches, I honestly doubt that ETN is going to get the numbers that you're looking for.
Yeah, so to Gibby's point here with this is that the Lions, even though we torch them on the receiver side of things, they actually allow the 7th fewest to running backs.
Yeah, they do. They have one of the top 5 as far as rush defenses go.
And Shakir, I wouldn't touch. That's clearly Josh Allen's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
With Bucky, again, it's still going to be likely a slow timeshare unless he were to somehow go off. But my issue isn't even with Chase Brown. Oh my gosh, I guess it becomes by de facto. I would have to.
I'd drop Chase Brown for a tight end. It
That's
depends on the tight end you getting though.
Right, and then
I'm
you
not
would
dropping him just for any old tight end.
Exactly. Well, no, he would have to stream one for the week, and then you just basically out of any of those guys understand right away the ones that are undroppable are Worthy and Shakir. The other 3, and it really boils down to Chase and Bucky, because those are the closest timeshares that both required someone to get injured in order for them to get elevated into the starter position. Like with Tank, we're seeing a slow transition. I mean, technically we were seeing that with Bucky, and then he got his chance and he didn't really deliver, but now he's getting a second chance because of an injury. Chase was supposed to get that chance this week, and then the injured somehow it's like the dead coming alive. Speaking of death, if Aaron dies, yes, he would. That's the craziest part. He absolutely would.
Too much of the offense has to go through Aaron Rodgers. He's killing that offense.
I'm not gonna lie.
He's the quarterback. What do you mean?
What I'm saying is he wants everything to be on him. He wants the deep balls. He wants the little middle of the field routes like he used to throw in Green Bay. He's not gonna be running back focused when that team is a running back team. You run through Garrett Wilson or you run through Breeze Hall.
Right. Okay.
And Aaron Rodgers is all receiver all the time. He don't look at his running back unless he's in danger and he don't want to run, which he can't because he's slow as, molasses. And he wants to check down last minute, but that's not good for your running back. Now you last minute check down and the defense is all over me. Now I'm going to get a 5 or 6 yard reception when you hit me earlier. That could potentially be a first down, 15-yard gain, 20-yard gain. You hit me when the defense is focused on the receivers. Don't hit me when the pocket collapses and now I'm your last option.
Gotcha.
Oh, so he's an ETN stan. Okay.
He gonna stand for ETN.
So now we playing.
So he's standing on business.
He's standing holder.
I feel like Hall and the Jets underperformed.
Yeah,
Aaron, completely agree with you. More so, it's the offensive coordinator that is killing them right now.
Well, not that has changed.
Robert wasn't the OC.
No, but they demoted the play caller.
So don't
Hackett
do anything
or something like that got demoted. Somebody else is calling plays now.
That's huge. So keep an eye on that. Absolutely keep an eye on that because everything could change.
I don't understand what you're saying though, because when I hear that, it just sounds like it's going to be more of what Aaron Rodgers wants.
What do you think that is, Gully?
See, yeah, all right. Well, so Hackett got demoted, but not fired. which was, I'm good. On the one hand, I mean, somebody still got their job, so I ain't saying nobody need to be fired or whatever. Not to get in nobody's pockets, but it was just sort of odd or peculiar in the shakeup that you'd have organizationally. You'd fire the head coach. The guy calling plays was demoted but not fired. So there's something about what you liked. Like, why wouldn't you have fired him?
From what I'm hearing about Salah, though, is he's a defensive guy. And they didn't like the way he called plays because, he's a defensive guy. He don't really know much about the offense. So that was an issue.
So was he the primary play caller?
No. They didn't like the way he ran the offense and the way he ran the team.
Even though he's...
Bro, I'm telling you what it was. He wore that Lebanese flag down there showing that he stands with Lebanon, and they don't like that. So they got rid of him.
It had to be because nothing about... Yeah, right. Remember,
that's the excuse they're rolling with. He's a defensive guy. He doesn't really know what he's doing with the offense, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you got to say to make it look reasonable.
No, I'm almost in full agreement with you because it didn't make sense. He didn't have Aaron Rodgers, the team, the player that they built the offense around for the entire year last year. They didn't have him.
So you need more than just a couple years, and it's not his fault that Aaron Rodgers got hurt at the beginning of the season. And it's kind of funny. Oh, he wore a Lebanese flag one week, and then the very next week he's out of here.
Right.
Like, you don't even tell the team that y'all firing him. Y'all walk him out the facility. Y'all don't let him say bye or hi to none of the players. They didn't even know. They found out just like everybody else found out.
Yeah.
That's a little fishy. Y'all couldn't have hated him that much.
Well, I would say this, Givy, as it pertains to Chase Brown, if he doesn't eat into more of that snap count this week, then I think you would be able to feel comfortable getting rid of him for that 1 week and then just putting in a waiver claim. Just do it late. Who's available?
You got to look at your waiver wire.
Mark Andrews was dropped because he has to drop one of the other guys.
Bro, don't grab Mark Andrews, dog.
Right.
Like, I picked him up at the beginning of the season thinking he's going to be the Mark Andrews from last year. He is not. Like I said, Isaiah Likely out there. You got Bateman that's showing up, showing out. You got Zay Flowers showing up, showing out. We got Derrick Henry. There's no need to run that much of the offense through Mark Henry anymore because now Lamar has weapons that are actually producing. He has a Derrick Henry now. He has Bateman actually being the receiver we thought he could be. He has Zay Flowers being the receiver we always knew he was and that he's been since he's gotten there. Like, now we don't have to be so Mark Andrews heavy, so he's not going to get the targets he was getting. You got Isaiah Likely catching all the passes in the red zone. They using Mark Andrews more for like the middle of the field, those first down yardage, that kind of stuff. That's not going to get you enough points to guard and starting him over anybody else. Until Andrews has that breakout game, I say either flex him or bench him. If you have a better option, I would go with that option.
Yeah, but remember this, with Mike Evans this particular week, as we talked about, potentially the shadow coverage could limit him a little bit. With Cooper, similarly, in Shaheed, he may do absolutely nothing.
I don't think Shaheed gonna do that this week.
It just even my own fear as somebody that has him in every league is that Rattler's going to absolutely just air the heck out of a ball that darn near hits the roof, and Shaheed's going to come down with it like 70 plus yards, and I'm just going to want to dry heave.
We'll see how it go.
Oh, I like. Well, here's the thing. So both are, I think, great plays. Neither are projected very high, but the thing with Tyrone Tracy that you're getting for sure in a PPR league is that He's going to get the bulk of the carries with Tolbert, who's in a very good just matchup as a whole. He's still the third option. And so, yep, looks like Givey agrees as well. See, okay, so Doc, who you got out of this? Gully, who you got out of this?
Which one shall I keep for my ROS and trade the other? No. Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me look at something real quick.
That's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I got rid of Pollard.
You got rid of Pollard.
Yeah, I did. I'm not gonna tell you
Pollard in Tennessee. Keep Najee.
Yeah, I would get rid of Pollard.
Yeah, get rid of Pollard. Keep Najee.
Pollard wouldn't give me no points. I had to get rid of him.
Oh wow, off topic. Too much fantasy. What's y'all's favorite horror movie? Wow.
Every time the Green Bay Packers beat the Lions.
My favorite horror movie, Marshawn Lynch. No, Russell Wilson at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you hand the ball off?
I tell people this: if Seattle had gotten that situation and they handed the ball to Marshawn Lynch,
he's the MVP.
No, listen. If they handed the ball to Marshawn Lynch 4 straight times, and New England had stopped them 4 straight times,
that wasn't gonna happen.
No, what I'm saying is, if New England had stopped them 4 straight times, there still wouldn't have been a better play to run. Like, nobody would be saying, man, you know what, they should have threw the ball. What if they would have threw
I'm telling you why they wanted Russell Wilson to be the hero.
Oh, I already know that. That's obvious. That's a given.
Yeah.
That's a given. Everything about the way that game performed. Yeah. Marshawn Lynch would have been the MVP, and for whatever reason, they didn't want that. They didn't want that.
Because he a ghetto boy from Oakland.
That's what, bro. I hate the Seahawks. Hey, you bring up Givey's comment.
All right, give me The Exorcist on that.
Which one?
No, the original.
The OG.
No. When I say the original one, do you remember the recut that came out? I think in 94, 2001. It was yeah. Her walking down the steps, man.
Oh yeah,
I checked out of it. Yeah. Oh.
If you haven't seen this, by the way, when I lived in Indiana, so in Gary, Indiana, there was what was known as the Demon House. There's been a couple documentaries. The guy that was like a ghost hunter or something, he had bought the house. He ends up demolishing it. All true story, of course. But in the hospital, the kid ends up walking up the wall in front of like a cop and a couple nurses, and everybody just bolted out of the room. So... yeah, it was certainly, if you'd like, check that out on the horror side.
I'll tell you what, the fourth kind. Yeah, Star Wars Disney versions. I swear, bro, I hate the Seahawks for that. I literally cried since I was so young. Yeah, Gibby, that was traumatic. I never understood that. Never understood it. You know what? Marshawn Lynch's reaction to it when he talked about it, he was eventually, like, he did express like he was frustrated and mad, but at the time, it seems like he was able to handle that so carelessly, like he didn't care. You get what I'm saying? Like. Yeah, he didn't care. He laughed. He to be able to laugh about it. I don't know if it's any other players that would have had his same type of reaction. I guess that's what makes Marshawn Lynch. Like, yeah, he laughed. Oh,
all right, y'all.
Hey, who you got on this, Doc?
Hold on, I'm looking at the wrong comments. Jonte Williams or Rico Dowles this week? Let me think about that. I gotta look at who they playing too.
So Rico's projected 18 versus the Lions. Again, we talked about kind of tough matchup, but that's PPR. And then Javonte, on the other hand, against the Chargers. That's even a.
I'm taking Rico.
By default, I think it's just a goal line score.
I'm taking Rico. He's about to eat the Lions cornerbacks up.
Yeah, the Chargers coming off a bye week are going to be very, very prepared for this. I just think it's going to be potentially a long day for him. I still think he creeps into maybe like the 14-point range. Largely, remember this too, and this is in a PPR league, right? His yards per carry have been, for the most part, against better rushing defenses for Javonte Williams in the varying between the under 3, basically, like 2.5. We'll call it a solid 2 in those against better rushing defenses. Against the don't fall victim to a recency bias against a bad team. Where he's been able to save himself is because of by necessity they've had to throw, and he's been able to kind of make up the points there.
All right, fellas. Last thing I'm gonna say before I head out of here is pay attention to your waiver wire and read them injury reports.
You bet.
Waiver wire and injury reports can save your life. Save mine a couple times.
All right, Gully, do you want to jump into this AEW results?
I'm going to jump into my bed, bro.
I hear you. All right, everybody. We are going to call it a night. We appreciate every single one of you being on here. As a reminder, you can find the merch on the Facebook and Instagram pages currently. Fairly soon. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. We can also make it easier, put it on the YouTube channel and ultimately on X as well.
We will be discussing.
Last thing I want to say is make sure y'all play Bucky.
Yeah, last thing you said, play Bucky. Yes.
Yeah, Bucks up.
Yeah, for all of our AEW, WWE, and other pro wrestling coverage, tune in to the Shop Report special presentation of the Turnbuckle Monday nights around 9:30 Eastern, where we get into all things professional wrestling and sports entertainment related. Aside from that, on Saturdays, this is where we at the shop, where we talk about it all. We'll get into our college pros, from all the other sports outside of wrestling, even wrestling too. And even the occasional fan give us a comment or question, such as our favorite horror movie, which is what we got into tonight. So you know where to find us.
Absolutely, Givy. It's all about consistency. We started late. That's all.
Yeah, we finished later. Hey, we started late. Y'all should have been here early.
There it is.
Detroit fan, man. Yeah.
All right. And if you really want to know what's going on, walk.
Yeah. Well, hold on. See, it's late. It's late. We gotta.
Yeah. If you really want to know what's going on, just come in the shop.
Right. Walk-ins are always welcome.
Holla.
Right. Holla.